We got our marriage certificate as soon as the school year started. Mr. Cao Ning, do you take this woman as your wife, to marry her and make a vow together? In sickness and in health, in poverty and in wealth. Cao Ning pursed his lips and rolled his eyes. Would I dare say no? The priest awkwardly twitched his lips. Should I just leave? Miss Xia Shahan, do you take this man as your husband, to marry him and make a vow together? In sickness and in health, in poverty and in wealth. Xia Shahan crossed her arms over her chest, pouting her lips angrily. Well, my grandfather agrees. The priest's lips twitched again. +2. Should I just leave? Our Almighty Lord. In the name of God, I declare that Mr. Cao Ning and Miss Xia Shahan are now officially husband and wife, and will be together until death. The priest spread his arms wide, gazing upward as he solemnly declared. Both Cao Ning and Xia Shahan's lips twitched. +3. This old man doesn't seem like a good person at all. After leaving the marriage office, Cao Ning walked out with a gloomy face, pulling out a red book with a steel fork on it from his pocket and staring at it repeatedly. Did I really get you this easily? You're not going to just take me for granted, right? Cao Ning. Xia Shahan pouted her pink lips and stamped her feet angrily. HMPH. Do you think I wanted to marry you? If it weren't for my grandfather. Cao Ning's nonchalant attitude really made her angry. She still didn't know what her grandfather saw in him to force her into this marriage at all costs. Cao Ning, I need to remind you, we have an agreement. Our marriage is only for 6 months. After 6 months, we will divorce, and during this period, you are not allowed to tell anyone that we're married. Also, we sleep in separate rooms. No touching without permission. And within the agreement, we cannot interfere with each other's right to pursue happiness. Not that it's any big deal, I know all about wearing a legal green hat. Cao Ning shrugged and smiled bitterly. This was the first time he'd seen such extreme demands. Cao Ning and Xia Shahan were both students at Jiangda University. Xia Shahan was in her second year, while Cao Ning was a freshman. These two had no connection at all before, but under the influence of their elders, they ended up getting married and became a legal couple. Xia Shahan was the campus goddess of Jiangda. She was the dream girl of every nerd. Not only was her family's wealth in the billions, but they also owned the top company in Jiangnan City. She was a real, rich, beautiful, and noble girl. On the other hand, Cao Ning was a boy who lost both his parents when he was very young. He lived in an old house in Wangfujing Alley, Jiangnan City, and was a long-time welfare case. He had neither money nor looks. But apart from being a freshman at Jiangda, he had another secret identity. A contracted ferry messenger for the Greater Bay Area underworld. The short version of it was their ferryman. The Cao family had been ferrymen for generations, specialized in guiding souls back and forth between the living world and the underworld, as well as maintaining the spiritual order in their jurisdiction. After his father passed away, at only 8 years old, Cao Ning had taken over the job. He had been doing it for over a decade. Before going to university, Cao Ning had been under the strict supervision of his grandfather. Only when he graduated from high school did his grandfather suddenly bring out a marriage contract, forcing him to fulfill his promise. At first, Cao Ning didn't want to, because what if his wife turned out to be an overweight, ugly woman? That would be a wasted life for him. But his grandfather was very adamant this time. If he didn't marry, he would be sent to the abyss for eternity, with no hope of reincarnation. His grandfather's pressure forced him to agree. Reluctantly, Cao Ning compromised. He thought that the other party would be a wealthy family and wouldn't take an interest in a poor guy like him. But to his surprise, as soon as the other party saw the marriage contract, they agreed immediately and insisted on holding the wedding right away. Xia Shahan, however, didn't like him at all, and Cao Ning didn't want to be sent to the abyss. So, the two secretly signed a prenuptial agreement. Well, I've done everything my grandfather asked me to. I'll leave now. If there's anything, just call me. With that, Xia Shahan turned to leave. Where are you going? Cao Ning asked. Of course, I'm going back to school. Where else would I go? Xia Shahan rolled her eyes. Today was the start of the new semester at Jiangda, and as their vice president of the student union, Xia Shahan had a lot to do. Great, I'm heading back to school too. Why don't you give me a ride? Cao Ning looked at the pink Maserati parked by the roadside. Like this? All right then. Shia Shahan gave a slight smile. Watching the pink horse whistling away, Cao Ning sighed and turned around to ride on his beloved electric donkey. I don't know what sins he had done in his previous life to have such a cold wife. Ding! Mission refresh. Just when Cao Ning was about to leave, the underworld system bound to the ferryman suddenly refreshed the mission list. The ferryman can earn rewards based on the tasks on the system, but for more than 10 years, Cao Ning has always earned ghost money. There is no way to spend this stuff. Alas, another day of being exploited by 007. Wait, this is. Cao Ning clicked on the system interface. But he found that the system had been upgraded at some point. Not only was the picture much clearer than before, but the functions were also more complete. In the past, the interface only had the location and reward for the reception. Now, there is not only a brief biography of the deceased, but also a community communication platform and a user mall on the homepage. Cao Ning clicked on the mission introduction. Number 167, Lejier Hutong, Greater Bay Area, character Li Chen, died at Yermanthor Minute Book of Life and Death. Task, lead to the underworld to report. Task reward, 1 million red gold coins. Cao Ning took a quick look and found it was normal, with no evil creatures involved. It is a low-level task. Then he opened the system mall, and the dazzling array of products made his eyes dazzled. Communication column, iPhone 20 dual purpose yin and yang version, super long standby, 1 second of charging and 365 days of talk time, priced at 6 million red gold coins. Daily use column, Hummer H2 priced at 20 million red gold coins, Rolls-Royce Phantom priced at 100 million red gold coins, boutique luxury villa priced at 500 million red gold coins. In addition, there are everything such as Yin Yuan Dan, Dragon Flame Spear, Soul Capture Bag, Qin Quan Instrument. However, the price is hundreds of times higher than that of luxury cars and mansions. Chapter 2, Soul Tethering and Freshman Enrollment. In the Greater Bay Area, Li Family Alley. When Cao Ning appeared at the entrance of the alley, driving a Hummer, he drew quite a bit of attention. Li Family Alley, much like Wangfujing Alley, was part of the old district of Jiangnan City. Most of the residents were elderly, and the majority of the younger generation had already moved out. Li Family Alley, number 167. The alley in LC district was narrow, and cars couldn't drive in. Cao Ning had to get out of the car and search for the house by following the house numbers. Fortunately, he had visited this alley several times before and didn't waste much time finding the right place. Before entering, Cao Ning took a Yin Yuan pill, which temporarily concealed the yang energy on his body. In simple terms, it was a way of becoming invisible. To others in his line of work, he appeared no different from an out-of-body soul. Inside the house, there was a coffin placed in the main room, and inside it lay the target for this mission, Li Chen. As usual, Cao Ning walked up to the coffin and waved his hand. A faint shadow detached from the body within. On closer inspection, the shadow was none other than Li Chen, lying in the coffin. However, the Li Chen in the coffin had his eyes closed, while the one in front of Cao Ning seemed alive. Li Chen, time to go. Cao Ning pulled out a soul-capturing bag and sucked the shadow into it. This was the daily work of a ferryman, quick and without delay. Just as he was about to leave, he noticed a young woman, dressed in mourning clothes, staring at him. The woman had a fair, oval face, delicate and petite features, with cherry-red lips and a graceful nose. Her almond-shaped eyes, full of innocence, could become alluring with just a hint of eyeliner. While she wasn't as striking as Shir Shahan, she was still an exceptionally rare beauty. At first, Cao Ning thought it was just a coincidence, but when he stepped outside, he realized the woman was still following him. Cao Ning turned with a fierce, judgmental look on his face, resembling a fearsome underworld judge. "Artilder," the woman screamed, collapsing to the ground in fright. "You can see me." Cao Ning walked up to her, staring intently. After confirming that she wasn't possessed, he relaxed and returned to his usual self. The woman nodded, her eyes filled with fear. "Why are you following me? Aren't you afraid I'll take you with me?" Cao Ning scolded. In all his years as a ferryman, this was the first time he had encountered someone who could see a ghostly figure. Afraid, the woman stuttered, her voice trembling with fear. "But I want to see my grandfather one last time. He raised me since I was little." "Your grandfather?" Cao Ning furrowed his brow. Could it be that she was another version of himself? It didn't really matter if they met. Since she could already see spirits, it wasn't difficult at all. Meeting is fine, but you'll have to explain first, what's up with your yin-yang eyes? Cao Ning asked indifferently. He had already noticed during his check that she had yin-yang eyes, the ability to see things that ordinary people couldn't. I don't really know. When I was little, I got very sick. My grandfather gave me a pill, and after I recovered, I could see things that weren't quite right, the woman explained softly. A pill? Cao Ning thought for a moment. Typically, a person with yin-yang eyes either had them from birth or developed them later due to some extraordinary cause. For example, someone like Xia Dongqing from the neighboring city had them thanks to Zhao Li. If a pill could alter someone's fate, then it could only be the Hui-Yang pill. It seemed the only way to unravel this mystery was to ask the person who gave her the pill. Cao Ning opened his soul-capturing bag and set up a protective barrier in the alley to prevent the soul from being harmed by the sunlight. Soon, Li Chen's soul appeared before him. Grandfather! The woman cried out in excitement, trying to reach Li Chen, but her arms went through empty air. Wei Wei, my dear child. Li Chen's voice trembled, as if he were about to cry. After all these years of living together, how could he let go so easily? Grandfather, I can't bear to see you go. Wei Wei sobbed, her face streaked with tears as she looked at her elderly grandfather. Foolish child, I'm old. I can't take care of you anymore. You must stay strong with Yang Er and the others, Li Chen said, his voice full of emotion. Grandfather Wei Wei's crying grew louder, and soon, everyone in the courtyard came rushing out. However, all they could see was Wei Wei crying in the alley, and none of them could see Cao Ning or Li Chen. Wei Wei, why are you here? The one speaking was Wei Wei's father, Li Yang. He worked in Modu and rarely came home. Dad, grandfather is leaving. Wei Wei said, and upon hearing this, Li Yang also began to weep. Thud. Li Yang suddenly collapsed to his knees. He knew that his daughter could see ghosts, so he had no doubts about what she said. Dad, I'm sorry. I've caused you so much hardship all these years. Cao Ning watched this scene, unsure if it was right to release Li Chen's soul. All right, it's time. Li Chen, you should go now. The sound of a Buddhist chant echoed, vast as the heavens. With that, Cao Ning directly sucked Li Chen back into the soul-capturing bag. Li Weiwei stood there, staring at Cao Ning. Her delicate, pitiful look made it hard for him not to feel a little heartbroken. However, this was the cycle of life and death, no one could change it. After sending Li Chen's soul away, Cao Ning returned to Jiangnan University in the afternoon. The campus was still bustling with students, all carrying large and small bags. There was an array of super short skirts, hot pants, and some bolder students even walked through the streets wrapped tightly in fabric on their chests, sporting black stockings. When the black Hummer appeared, all eyes were immediately drawn to it. It was almost as if no one was surprised anymore. Look, another rich guy has come to our school. Yeah, probably here for Xia Shahan. That's right. You see, when our campus belle stands there, it works better than any admissions brochure. Her Douyin TikTok likes have surpassed 1 million. But speaking of which, Xia Shahan has rejected probably hundreds of guys by now. With all those people, none of them have been able to impress her. Otherwise, how could she be called the cool campus belle? If I could pursue her, I'd be willing to live 20 years less. You're not even close. I'd spend my whole life for a day with her. Look, the one who just got out of the car, he is heading straight for our summer belle. A few onlookers pointed in the direction where Cao Ning had just stepped out of the car. Sure enough, Cao Ning was walking straight towards the tent where Xia Shahan was stationed. This only confirmed the gossip among the crowd. Huh? Why is this silly girl here too? When Cao Ning saw Xia Shahan, his lips curled slightly, clearly displeased. It was their first day as a married couple, and she had already left him behind. Only she could have pulled something like this off. Today was the day for freshmen to check in. Most of the student council members hadn't returned yet, and there were a shortage of volunteers. Therefore, as the vice president of the student council, Xia Shahan naturally took on the role of the main organizer. By sheer coincidence, Cao Ning was reporting to the archaeology department, which was where Xia Shahan was also helping. Dressed in a clean, casual white shirt paired with tight blue jeans, her full figure was perfectly complemented by her curves. With willow leaf eyebrows, an oval face, flawless skin, and bright, sparkling eyes, she exuded a natural elegance and purity. Her tall ponytail swayed with every movement, giving her an air of both vitality and subtle grace. Shia Shahan had long noticed Cao Ning. But she had always chosen to pretend she hadn't seen him. Who knew he would actually walk over and sit right in front of her? "Excuse me, but this is the archaeology department. The tents for finance and computer science are over there," she said, trying to be polite. Chapter 3, The Campus Belle. Shia Shahan. Before Shia Shahan could speak, Shulan, the head of the External Relations Department, spoke up first. The Archaeology Department was a less popular major at Jiangnan University, with few applicants each year. However, today, because of Shia Shahan, many people were pretending to come to report, only to strike up a conversation with her. Shulan noticed that Cao Ning was dressed quite formally, wearing a white shirt and black suit, which made him look more like someone not coming to report. Naturally, she labeled him as just another person trying to flirt with Shia Shahan. "I'm not from the finance department. I applied for the tomb robbing." "I mean, archaeology department," Cao Ning explained. Shulan was a bit surprised by this. From his appearance, Cao Ning didn't seem like the type to have such an odd choice of major. What was he after by applying to archaeology? Inheriting an ancestral craft? Shulan felt a little awkward. Could you show me your admission notice?" "It's in her bag." Cao Ning smirked and looked at Shia Shahan. Shia Shahan was also taken aback. When they went to register for marriage, Cao Ning had stuffed something into her bag. She hadn't checked it at the time because she was angry. Shia Shahan turned her body and rummaged through her backpack. Sure enough, the admission notice with an arch printed on it was lying right there in her bag. Shulan's eyes widened in disbelief. Her intuition told her that the relationship between these two wasn't simple. "Shahan, you two, what is going on?" Shulan asked in surprise. Shia Shahan didn't answer. Instead, she just picked up a form and started filling it out. "New students need to pay a 50 yuan dormitory key deposit, which will be refunded upon graduation when you return the key," Shia Shahan said casually. "I don't have cash. WeChat or Zhifubao works. My phone's dead." Shia Shahan was completely speechless. After glaring at Cao Ning, she angrily took 50 yuan from her wallet. "Deposit received. Dorm A, room 644. If there's nothing else, you can head back to your dorm. There will be an announcement about the freshman meeting later." She handed him a receipt and a key without another word. This scene left Shulan stunned. Even the nearby male students, who had been eavesdropping, were equally confused. This guy must be a relative of Shia Shahan's family. Yeah, I don't believe Shia Shahan would like this guy. What's the point? It's just heartbreaking. Our Shahan is so beautiful. Even the way she takes money is so captivating. Shahan, I love you. Dorm 644. 3 out of the 4 people in the dorm had already arrived. One of them, a tall guy with a buzz cut, was holding 2 portable dumbbells, repeatedly flexing his muscles. He clearly looked like someone who could take a punch. The other 2 were much leaner. One, a bookish guy, was sitting with a tablet, constantly ranting about the characters in his current novel. The other, dressed in full Adidas gear and the latest Nike shoes, often boasted about the superiority of people from Beijing. "Man, it's already afternoon. Why has our last roommate arrived?" the tall guy complained. "Relax, I see a few people in the next dorm haven't arrived yet," the bookish guy muttered, still staring at his tablet. "Where are you guys from, and what made you want to come to our school?" the tall guy asked excitedly, trying to strike up a conversation. "Well, obviously we came to find the kid's mother. Otherwise, who would bother applying to the archaeology department?" The guy from Beijing replied energetically, "You guys have no idea. Ever since I saw Shia Shahan on Douyin a year ago, I swore I had to come to Jiangnan University. So, I applied to several obscure majors here, just to make sure I wouldn't miss out." "Wait, you're from Beijing?" "I'm from Jiangning, and funny enough, I came here because of Shia Shahan too," the tall guy said excitedly. "Such a coincidence, I came here for Shia Shahan too." The bookish guy finally looked up. Last year, a promotional video for a school arts performance showed Shia Shahan playing the guzheng in traditional Hanfu. Overnight, the Douyin video was reposted tens of thousands of times, and its like count exceeded 1 million. Everyone learned that the campus belle of Jiangnan University was named Xie Shahan. Major media outlets picked up the story. Even on computer screens, mischievous netizens set Xie Shahan's dynamic wallpaper. As the news spread, suitors from far and wide came flocking. In their social circles, everyone was talking about going to Jiangnan University to meet Xie Shahan. The most interesting thing was that no matter if they were bad students, top scholars, rich or powerful, every guy who pursued Xie Shahan was rejected. Xie Shahan remained single as always. Her pure and untouched goddess image was firmly established. As a result, Jiangnan University became the dream school of every guy. Guys, our school's forum is exploding. Come look. Liu Hao, the bookish guy, called out to the others. Upon hearing this, Zhao Hai, the tall guy, rushed over first. Even Sun Liang, the guy from Beijing who was fixing his hair in the mirror, was pulled over. They looked at the huge headline on Liu Hao's tablet. Shocking. Campus belle encounters mysterious male lead, the truth behind it is stunning. It was a post on Jiangnan University's campus forum. Apart from the headline, there were several photos taken from different angles. In just a few minutes, the post had already gathered over 100 comments, with the number growing rapidly. Lao Wang, who loves gossip, according to insiders, this new student's admission notice was actually found in the campus belle's bag. Pinned. Who ye likes jungle, this isn't T-News. I just got reliable information that the campus belle not only paid the deposit for this new student but they both said they don't know each other. Pinned. What the hell? How could they not know each other? They found the admission notice in her bag. Zhao Hai grumbled again. This is suspicious, something is definitely going on, Liu Hao said angrily. I think maybe they mixed up their bags. Sun Liang tried to comfort them. Just as the three were speculating, they didn't forget to analyze the photos of Xie Shahan that had been secretly taken in the post. After all, Xie Shahan, their little dragon girl of Jiangnan University, was simply gorgeous. The three of them eagerly praised her over and over again, as if they had discovered a new continent, admiring and complimenting her from every angle. Just then, after a few knocks on the door, Cao Ning walked into the dorm carrying the bedding provided by the school. Seeing him, Zhao Hai immediately walked over, eager to greet him. Bro, you finally arrived. Our dorm is complete now. Hey, bro, have we met somewhere before? You look really familiar. Chapter for admiration from roommates. You. Aren't you the boy who has a relationship with Xie Shahan in the forum? Zhao Hai opened his mouth wide. Fuck, this is too ridiculous, Xie Shahan's rumored boyfriend is actually my roommate, it's even more outrageous than the novels written by the failed authors. Liu Hao looked confused. Let me see. No way, he is not as handsome as me, there is no reason for Xie Shahan to like him and not me. Sun Liang's words directly killed the conversation. After feeling the resentful eyes from Liu Hao and Zhao Hai, Sun Liang restrained himself a lot. Rumored boyfriend. What are you talking about? Cao Ning looked confused. He walked to bed number 3 and took off the bedding. Until this time, the three of them were still staring at him as if they were looking at a great man. Brother, look, you are on the headlines. Zhao Hai excitedly took the tablet. On the headlines? Did my identity as a ferryman get exposed? No way, I hid it very well. Cao Ning leaned over blankly. That's it? It turned out that someone secretly photographed me. Cao Ning breathed a sigh of relief. You know what, the photo was quite lively. Brother, do you know the school beauty? How come you can get so close to the school beauty at the beginning of the school year? Is there any secret? Teach us some experience. Zhao Hai smiled and tried to get close to him. Those who didn't know him would think he was Cao Ning's new younger brother. Yes, we want to know too. Hearing this, the other two people also became interested. They all came forward and pricked up their ears. School beauty? What school beauty? It's my first day at school, how can I know any school beauty? Cao Ning looked at the contentious eyes of several people and realized it later. Oh, you are talking about Xie Shahan, right? Zhao Hai nodded. Of course, among the several campus beauties of Jiangda, she is the most beautiful. She is my goddess. Speaking of Xie Shahan, Zhao Hai's mouth is like a cheat, and he talks endlessly. He wants to praise her to the sky. Cao Ning understands. No wonder when they first met, they were all jealous as if they saw a rival in love. So the problem lies here. Do you really want to know? The three of them nodded in unison. Oh, boss, don't keep me in suspense. I feel like a cat's claws are scratching my heart. Cao Ning smiled bitterly. It's okay to tell you, but you have to promise not to spread it. Don't worry, I am the most trustworthy person. I won't tell anyone if I say I won't tell anyone. Zhao Hai patted his chest and promised. That's right, I promise not to tell anyone else. Me too, me too. After the three of them expressed their opinions, they immediately pricked up their ears and leaned forward. That look was more exciting than checking the college entrance examination results. Cao Ning smiled faintly. He didn't expect that Xia Shahan was so popular in school. He didn't know whether it was a blessing or a curse for him. I just hope the cheating is not too harsh. Okay, I'll only tell you three. Cao Ning deliberately lowered his voice to create a mysterious atmosphere. Actually, Xia Shahan is my wife. Zhao Hai. Liu Hao. Sun Liang. The three brothers looked at each other. I thought to myself, who are you taking for a fool? After a moment of silence, the three of them dispersed at the same time. Brother, your trick is outdated. If you said you two had a childhood engagement, maybe we would believe it. You are exaggerating too much. Zhao Hai sighed. He is the one who can brag at home. I didn't expect that when school started. I met someone who can brag more than me. Cao Ning shrugged. Anyway, I told the truth. I can't help you if you don't believe me. Click tilde. Just when Cao Ning turned around and prepared to pack his things, a small red book fell out of his pocket. It looked familiar at first glance. Zhao Hai was quick and picked up the red book with his eyes almost popping out. Oh my god, brother, you are spending a lot of money. You even forged the marriage certificate. Liu Hao and Sun Liang were immediately interested when they heard it. The two touched the texture. They also checked whether there was an anti-counterfeiting mark. After a long time, they finally came to a conclusion. The texture is good, and the steel fork is also realistic. If it weren't for the bitter faces of the two people in the photo, I would have almost believed it. That's right, brother, where did you Photoshop this photo from? Share your contact information with us later. I have a friend who also wants one. No problem, I will make one for each of you later. It will definitely be indistinguishable from the real thing. Cao Ning took back the marriage certificate and smiled bitterly. He had no choice but to meet these three honest and idiotic people. No one believes the truth, but bragging is a sure thing. On the other side, the girls' dormitory. After Xia Shahan returned to the dormitory, she was immediately surrounded by three roommates carrying small stools. The melon seeds in her hands suddenly didn't smell good. Shahan, tell us quickly, what is your relationship with that handsome guy? How far have you two developed? Have you been to their hotel? The speaker is Zhao Maynor in bed number 1. She is a native of Jiangning City, 1.75 meters tall, not bad looking, likes to wear JK, and had a class of boyfriends in her freshman year. Xia Shahan looked at Shulan beside her with resentment. HMPH, Stinky Lan Lan, did you tell them? I didn't say anything. Shulan immediately hurried to explain. Oh Shahan, you need Shulan to tell your little thing, just look at the school bulletin board, those boys are arguing. Zhao Maynor came to the rescue. Ballroom. Is there another scandal? Xia Shahan recovered. She immediately took out her mobile phone and opened the school bulletin board. Sure enough. There were photos of her and Cao Ning being secretly photographed everywhere. The eye-catching title was even more shocking. Shocking. The school beauty was alone with a mysterious man, suspected to be her rumored boyfriend. Big revelation. Big revelation. According to insiders, the school beauty is pregnant. School beauty was cheated on, boyfriend traveled thousands of miles to find his wife and ask for reconciliation. The top posts took up most of the homepage, and the comments on them were almost flooded. What is this? They are simply too much. Xia Shahan casually clicked on a post, which was basically full of boys complaining and venting their dissatisfaction. Shahan's top fan, oh my god, is the world unable to give you warmth? Is my goddess just fed to pigs? Warjianju, brothers, get someone to find this grandson, is he worthy of my goddess? Laolu next door at Warjianju, judging from the position of the tent, he should be a freshman in the Department of Archaeology. The most handsome guy in Jiangda, it's so fucking infuriating. I didn't even go to Tsinghua or Peking University for my sister Shahan, but I didn't expect that I would be beaten at the starting line. Solo master at, who says he isn't. I also gave up the olive branch of Yale to come here. This guy is so ugly, how can he be worthy of sister Shahan? Seeing this comment, Shia Shahan agreed with it and clicked a thumbs up. Looking at other comments. Whenever she encountered a comment that scolded Cao Ning for not being worthy of her, Shia Shahan would not help but click a thumbs up. But after scrolling through several posts in a row, she found a strange person. As long as there was a post where someone scolded Cao Ning for being ugly, there would be a netizen named "so handsome that he was hacked" below, refuting it. Chapter 5: The Angry School Beauty. So handsome that he was hacked at the male lead is so ugly, do you have eyes? You dare to say that this handsome guy is ugly? Go look in the mirror first. So handsome that he was hacked at Shahan's #1 fan, you are a pig, your whole family is a pig. So handsome that he was hacked at Warjianju, can you talk? What do you mean you are not worthy of him? It is obviously Shia Shahan who is above her. Shia Shahan became more and more angry as she watched. Seeing the end. That man even dared to complain about himself. How could she bear it now? I immediately moved my little finger and replied to the comment. Today I also want to be beautiful, you are not allowed to say that about our big baby Shahan. Our Shahan is not only beautiful and nice, but also the cutest in the world. No, no, no. The male protagonist is so ugly, he is not worthy of our Shahan at all. After typing a lot of words, Shia Shahan felt much happier. Although she often peeked at the screen before, there were almost no spam posts. If this netizen hadn't belittled her so much, she wouldn't have rushed to stand up and refute. When I thought that I had actually obtained a marriage certificate with a big bear, I felt wronged. Just when Shia Shahan felt that she could breathe a sigh of relief, there were several unread messages under the message bar. Clicked it and saw. Wow, it was a message that the other party replied in seconds. So handsome that he was hacked at today, I also want to be beautiful, do you have eyes? Didn't you see such a handsome guy? He actually dared to slander my male god. I was so angry. Even if you say anything, the male lead is the most handsome in the universe, and Shia Shahan is not worthy of the male lead. Okay. You are playing with fire. Shia Shahan's anger, which had finally calmed down, was ignited again. Today I want to be beautiful too at handsome to be chopped, the male lead is a toad wanting to eat swan meat, he is not worthy, even after 10,000 years. Ding tilde. Handsome to be chopped, Shia Shahan is beautiful, but she is not an old virgin. As soon as this sentence was sent out, all the people who were secretly in the group came out like a pot of boiling water. The number of likes exceeded 300 in 1 minute. Warjianju at handsome to be chopped, brother, although your words are a bit harsh, I like this sentence, I must give it a thumbs up. The leader of the online literature world at handsome to be chopped, I can't refute what you said, thumbs up. Lao Wang next door at Shui to be chopped, although the male lead is really ugly, I like what you said and must support it. Dragon King returns at Shui to be chopped, brother, your words are rough but the truth is not rough. I have been watching for a long time. You are not the male lead, right? Please post your photos. Cao Zei Xiu Zhu at Dragon King returns, I also think this guy is the male lead, no problem. Huyi loves jungle at Dragon King returns, I agree. Demesha at Shui to be chopped, please post your photos. In the comment column, the voice is that Shui to be chopped is Cao Ning getting louder and louder, and there is a tendency to overshadow Shia Shahan. In just a short while, the number of likes on his comment has exceeded 1,000, and there is a trend of continuous growth. Finally, Shui to be chopped was forced to post a comment under pressure. So handsome that he was hacked, please don't misunderstand, I am definitely not the handsome male lead. The male lead is handsome, suave, and everyone loves him. How could I be him? I am just an unknown fan of his. Now, the voice of netizens who are so handsome that they are hacked is the male lead, and everyone is saying that he is Cao Ning. And Shia Shahan in front of the screen, watching the number of likes for Cao Ning's comments slandering her climb step by step. In the end, it was pinned to the top by the administrator. She was so angry that she almost collapsed. Damn. Cao Ning, it's all your fault. On the other side, Cao Ning, looking at the post that he had messed up, almost laughed out loud. Fuck, Lao Cao, the one they said was so handsome that he was chopped, couldn't it really be you? Zhao Hai looked at Cao Ning, who was laughing so hard that his cramps were about to occur. He had also been posting water posts, and when he saw so many people saying that Cao Ning was the netizen, he also doubted it. Now looking at Cao Ning's look of asking for a beating, it's clear that it's a done deal. Oh my god, Lao Cao, is it really okay for you to praise yourself like this? Liu Hao laughed so hard. This guy is really shameless when he praises himself. Who said it's not? I've never seen anyone praise himself so hard. Lao Cao, I won't even lean on the wall, I just admire you. Sun Liang laughed awkwardly. Har har. Cao Ning also laughed so hard, I'm innocent too. Just then, Cao Ning's phone rang. Wait, I'll take a call first. Cao Ning had just answered the phone when he heard the other party's overwhelming roar, which almost broke his eardrums. After listening for a while, Cao Ning recognized it. The person on the other end was his legal wife, Xie Shahan. She looked very angry. Cao Ning, you bastard, you are shameless, beep beep. Cao Ning was too lazy to pay attention and hung up the phone directly. Now he was in a good mood. But he didn't want anyone to disturb his good mood. Looking at the forum again. The quarrel was already going on. The calls for Cao Ning to release photos were only increasing. Cao Ning didn't pay attention either. Looking at the personal homepage column, there were dozens of friend requests. Cao Ning clicked on it and saw that they were basically all men. Of course there were also a few girls. Among them was the netizen named, I want to be beautiful today. Cao Ning thought about it and only approved her friend request. Before he could react, the other party started to curse at him. Cao Ning was speechless when he saw such a brainless fan and deleted it directly. On the other side, Xie Shahan, after finally typing a bunch of words and sending them, was rejected. She was so angry that her plump chest was heaving. Her stubborn little mouth was pouting high. Shahan, calm down. All the roommates were dumbfounded. We have been in the same dormitory for a year, and I have never seen Xie Shahan so angry. If her suitors saw this, they would probably quarrel again. Xie Shahan calmed down for a while, and then changed her tone to send a friend request. From serious to humble. She sent 4 or 5 messages in a row, but the other party didn't respond. Xie Shahan was so angry that she almost ran to the boys' dormitory to settle accounts with Cao Ning. In fact, Xie Shahan had already figured out that the other party was Cao Ning, and she was even more certain when she heard the other party's squealing voice when she called him just now. Chapter 6 Not a Married Husband. It was almost 6 o'clock. Cao Ning went out to eat with 3 roommates in the dormitory. The scenery in the university is different compared to the girls in lazy school uniforms in high school. The scenery now is much more pleasing to the eye. Along the way, girls wearing miniskirts and showing long legs can be seen everywhere. Of course, there are also many seniors with light makeup and big waves. A pair of long legs with black stockings. A discerning person can see at a glance. The quality of the stockings is definitely not good, although they look childish everywhere. But it is really pleasing to the eye. No wonder the head teacher emphasized it again and again in high school. Even if it is an ordinary undergraduate, you have to go and study. It turns out that it is really different. Now think about it, what the head teacher said is really right. Old Zhao, pay attention to your image, your drool is about to flow out. Liu Hao patted Zhao Hai on the shoulder and reminded him. Don't blame me, you're not much better, you even walked to the lawn. Now you know that girls are much prettier than in novels, right? Zhao Hai said indignantly. I say you can be more promising, in the eyes of us Beijingers, there are no girls that can't be picked up, no horses that can't be ridden. Sun Liang said leisurely. Is your horse serious? Zhao Hai became interested. Look at you, you're thinking wrong. I'm talking about a serious grassland hummer, do you think everyone is like you? Hey, but speaking of horses, I just seemed to see a hummer parked downstairs of our dormitory. I saw it too, and there are many beautiful women taking selfies there. Liu Hao echoed. Isn't it just a car? Why make such a fuss? I'll get one to drive when I graduate. Zhao Hai said with his chin raised. Old Zhao, do you know how much that car costs? You make it sound so easy. Sun Liang raised a finger and said contemptuously. More than 1 million. What? That broken car is more than 1 million. How much rice would it take to exchange for this car? Zhao Hai opened his mouth subconsciously. He was a real rural kid, dealing with tractors since he was a child. How could he know such a luxury car? Let alone seeing it, he had never even heard of it. Oh my god, there is such a great person in our school. He drives a Hummer to school. Maybe his family has a mine. Sun Liang shook his head, not necessarily. What if someone deliberately drives it to show off? Maybe the car will be gone when we go back. This kind of car needs maintenance. Don't you think so, Lao Cao? Cao Ning wanted to say that the cheapest car in the system mall is the Hummer. I'm afraid you will be scared if he drives a Rolls-Royce out. It's nothing special. When you get one each, we can drive out together. It will be so cool. Yes, yes, yes. Those school beauties will throw themselves at you. Zhao Hai praised. On the other side, Xia Shahan was depressed for a long time. Xu Lan persuaded her to go to the cafeteria to eat together. Okay, Han, we are like iron and steel. There is no need to get angry with those stinky boys. It's just a rumored boyfriend. What's the big deal? He's not a husband who has obtained a marriage certificate. It would have been better if he hadn't said that. After saying that, Xia Shahan's heart fluttered again. That man is really her husband. The kind that has obtained a marriage certificate. Shahan, look, there's a Hummer over there. Xu Lan's sharp eyes. She saw a million-level luxury car parked downstairs of the boys' dormitory. Shahan, this car is comparable to your pink horse. It's not coming for you again, is it? Xu Lan joked with a smile. There are too many rich second generations who drive luxury cars to confess to Xia Shahan. Xu Lan has long been used to it. But this is the first time that he drives a million-level luxury car. HMPH, it's just a Hummer. What's so great about it? I don't even look down on it. Others don't know, but Xia Shahan knows. When Cao Ning came to report, he drove this car. HMPH, big liar, and asked me to give him a ride. It turns out that he has a car. Men are really not good. Xia Shahan muttered in a low voice. Shahan, what are you talking about? I didn't say anything. I said I was hungry. Let's go to the cafeteria to eat quickly, otherwise it will be eaten up by the stinky junior. Xia Shahan smiled and pulled Xu Lan towards the cafeteria. Canteen. Cao Ning went to queue up to recharge his meal card first. When they arrived at the canteen, it was already crowded with people. Except for a few snack counters, other places were basically crowded. Liu Hao and Sun Liang were not used to eating rice, so they queued up to buy steamed buns together. Zhao Hai liked to eat stir-fried dishes, so he chose to queue up for vegetables. Cao Ning didn't care much about what he ate, but the line was too long and he was too lazy to queue up again, so he chose a window-selling spicy hot pot. Hello, I want the one with more vegetables, how much? Cao Ning pointed to a plate that had been prepared and said. Ding tilde. After swiping the card, it showed that there was still 160 yuan for the meal. The meal card was 30 yuan, which could be refunded when graduation. This spicy hot pot was mostly vegetables, and there were also many meatballs and the like. 10 yuan was a good deal. Cao Ning put away the meal card with satisfaction. Although the first meal in college was a bit shabby, it was not bad. Just as he was waiting for the food to be served, two figures hurried over and pushed Cao Ning aside. Master, I want some crispy sausage, and that squid, some diced chicken, lettuce. At first glance, Cao Ning felt that the back of the person in front of him looked familiar. After a closer look, who else could it be but Xia Shahan? Xia Shahan wore a suspender floral dress that just covered her knees, revealing her slender calves that were white, tender and smooth, without even a little fat. Her waterfall-like hair was draped directly over her shoulders, and when she approached, there was a faint body fragrance. Her skin was as white as cream, her eyes were bright and her teeth were white, which made people feel excited. Compared to the sexy shirt she wore when registering, she can now be called a fairy. No wonder the business at the window was much better after she came. Many boys gathered around. Xia Shahan also noticed that the person standing next to her was Cao Ning. But she just rolled her eyes and didn't mean to pay attention to him. She pulled her good roommate Xu Lan to choose a lot of dishes. After the saleswoman entered the numbers on the machine, Xia Shahan realized it. She actually forgot to bring her meal card. Lan Lan, did you bring your meal card? My phone and meal card are in my bag. I forgot to bring them. Shu Lan smiled. You careless little thing, you see, it's a good thing I'm here, otherwise you would be embarrassed. I just changed clothes, and I forgot to bring them. Chapter 7 The Revenge of the School Beauty. Shu Lan, the girl with glasses, touched the pocket of her jeans, and it was empty. When she came, her focus was on Xie Shahan, and she even forgot to change her clothes. Then, what should I do, or should I go back and get it now? Xie Shahan said anxiously. Senior, why don't you swipe mine? Senior, swipe mine. I have one. The boys around heard the conversation between the two and volunteered. This made Xie Shahan, who was always strong, at a loss. She looked at the enthusiastic classmates around her and didn't know what to do. At this time, she noticed that Cao Ning, who was standing behind the crowd, was actually watching the fun and had no intention of saving the situation. This made her very angry. She walked to Cao Ning angrily, pouted her mouth, and stretched out her hand. Meal card. Cao Ning was stunned. He honestly took out the meal card and handed it to her. This scene also confused the boys present. But there were also people with sharp eyes who recognized Cao Ning at a glance. Oh my god, isn't this the school beauty's rumored boyfriend? Really, so are they together? No way, is my goddess being taken away by a pig? No, if they are really together, they shouldn't have been like this just now. Did they break up again? Just as the crowd of spectators were secretly guessing. Xie Shahan had already swiped her card and went to the milk tea window to linger for a long time. When she came back, she had 3 more milk teas in her hand. When she returned the meal card to Cao Ning, she handed him a cup of milk tea. Don't say I'm bullying you, here, I'll buy you milk tea. Xie Shahan said with a smile. You're buying me milk tea? It seems that you swiped my card, right? Cao Ning complained in his heart. Is this the legendary you treat, I pay? Then thank you. Cao Ning accepted it awkwardly. By the time we found a seat and sat down, everyone else had returned. Oh my god, what's going on with you, Lao Cao? We were just having a meal, and you hooked up with the school beauty again. Zhao Hai was like a curious baby. He saw the scene just now. That's right, I just saw the school beauty actually greet you and buy you milk tea. Oh my god, what happened? Liu Hao also asked. Cao Ning smiled bitterly and slapped the meal card on the table. Here, it's my card. Oh my god, it's okay. Lao Cao, you're sharing a meal card with the school beauty so soon. You still dare to say you have nothing to do with the school beauty? Zhao Hai took a mouthful of rice. At this moment, it seemed that the food had lost its taste. Look, the school beauty is looking at me, and she's smiling at me. After hearing what Sun Liang said, the other people looked up. Sure enough, Xie Shahan was staring at this place not far away. Zhao Hai patted Sun Liang on the shoulder. Brother, wake up. Even a fool can see that the school beauty is looking at Lao Cao. She only thinks about beautiful things all day long, which is nothing. That's right. Have you heard that the school beauty is so close to any boy? It's only Lao Cao. Liu Hao followed up. He. I'm just looking for a sense of accomplishment. I didn't say that the school beauty must be looking at me. Sun Liang scratched his head awkwardly. Zhao Hai and Liu Hao rolled their eyes and then lowered their heads to eat. Xie Shahan's unusual behavior attracted Cao Ning's attention. Xie Shahan and Shu Lan, who were not far away, kept talking and laughing, and their eyes were still looking over here from time to time. His intuition told him that it must be bad. Cao Ning sighed and took a sip of milk tea. It's not known whether it is a blessing or a curse to have such a wife. Poof tilde. Fuck, why is this milk tea so sweet? Is this the candy seller? Cao Ning couldn't hold it back and spit it out. He raised his head and looked at Xie Shahan not far away, who laughed so hard that her waist couldn't stand up straight. Good fellow, it turns out that the school beauty has been looking here, waiting for now. Zhao Hai took a breath of cold air. If he hadn't dodged quickly just now, he would have been in trouble. I say, Lao Cao, did you offend the school beauty? Liu Hao was also shocked. What a big grudge. Could it be that you cheated on the school beauty and she found out? Sun Liang joked with a smile. I said I didn't do anything, do you believe it? Cao Ning said with a wry smile. The three of them shook their heads in unison. No. Most of the class meetings on the first day of freshmen are extremely boring. Cao Ning's head teacher is an old professor in his 50s. It is said that he used to work in the province. He has a lot of archaeological experience. After arriving at the classroom designated by the class group, it was as expected. All 28 people in the class were boys without exception. Zhao Hai and the other two lay on the table weakly. When they passed by the door of the finance department classroom, they found that the classroom was full of girls. Boys were rare. Looking at their own class, it was like heaven and hell. It's so boring. If I had known, I would have listened to my dad and applied for the normal university next door. I came here for the school beauty, but I was beaten by someone at the starting line. Now I'm staying in this Buddhist temple. When will I be able to complete the important task of inheriting the incense of our old Zhao family? Don't talk about you. I regret it too. Alas. Liu Hao sighed. How come there is not even a girl in our class? It's so boring. Even Sun Liang was so depressed that he was about to doubt his life. Looking at Cao Ning again, he was sitting there respectfully listening to the old professor's speech, as if nothing had happened. Lao Cao, why are you like nothing has happened? Don't you think our Buddhist temple is too lonely? Sun Liang said listlessly. Then he was hit on the head by Zhao Hai. You are stupid, Lao Cao has a school beauty as a base, how can he be the same as us? Sun Liang rolled his eyes, it's not yet done, and it's not certain who will be on the household registration book. In Sun Liang's view, as long as they haven't obtained the marriage certificate, everything is possible. Cao Ning was completely dismissive of his roommate's helpless complaints. After all, he is a family man, how can he be the same as these single dogs? Right now he is busy choosing hunting equipment. Should I choose the Dragon Flame Spear or the Soul-Breaking Sword? The Dragon Flame Spear costs 50 billion red gold coins, and the Soul-Breaking Sword costs 10 billion red gold coins, so the two together cost 60 billion. That's too expensive. Wouldn't it be nice to use all that money to buy a villa? Chapter 8 Senior Sister in Red in Area B. Just when Cao Ning was feeling sad, a warning box suddenly popped up on the system interface. Ding! System prompt. Article 262 of Volume 6 of the Operation Manual for Civil Servants in the Underworld stipulates that within the scope of their authority, a ferryman can only own one house and one car. What, system, why didn't you tell me earlier? If you had told me earlier, I would have bought a limited edition Rolls-Royce. System, ferrymen can take the public relations exam at the end of the year. Qualified civil servants can get promotion opportunities. Please continue to work hard. Exam? There is such an operation. Cao Ning has seen this for a long time. He has been a ferryman for so many years, but this is the first time he has heard that civil servants in the underworld have to take the public relations exam. But since the system has said so, he can try it when the time comes. If he passes the exam, that would be a life of an office, a newspaper, and a cup of tea. Finally, Cao Ning gritted his teeth, stomped his feet, and bought the Dragon Flame Spear and the Soul-Breaking Knife at the same time. With these two things, with his current strength, it is not easy to deal with the minions below the Ghost King. Finally, he spent more than 180 billion to purchase body-hardening pills and soul-gathering pills. These two things are very beneficial to the ferryman, and can improve his own strength in a short time. Cao Ning's current strength is the lowest ghost messenger. If he can fully absorb the 1000 body-hardening pills and 300 soul-gathering pills he just purchased, he can at least break through one level. Reach the level of a ghost official. In classroom A0322. The old professor was busy explaining the military training, and Cao Ning was not idle either. He directly refined all the 1300 pills and absorbed them continuously, and the system prompt sound in his ears never stopped. Congratulations to their host for successfully advancing to the 6th level of Ghost Messenger. Congratulations to their host for successfully advancing to the 9th level of Ghost Messenger. Congratulations to their host for successfully advancing to the 1st level of Ghost Official. Congratulations to their host for successfully advancing to the 5th level of Ghost Official. Congratulations to their host for successfully advancing to the 7th level of Ghost Official. Congratulations to their host for successfully advancing to the 9th level of Ghost Official. Half an hour later, Cao Ning successfully refined and absorbed more than 1,300 pills. The strength level has risen to the 9th level of Ghost Official without knowing it. One step away from being a Ghost General. After being promoted to Ghost Official, Cao Ning obviously felt a lot more relaxed. The most important thing is that when you reach the level of Ghost Official, you can recruit your own Ghost Messenger. You don't have to go to receive the undead every time. Ding, the system task is refreshed. Task details: go to the 3 teaching buildings in Zone B of Jianghai University to extradite the undead. Danger level, General. Task reward, 100 million red gold coins. Cao Ning received a notification of the system refresh task just after the upgrade. However, compared with the ordinary tasks he encountered before, their general level tasks he received now are still rare. Cao Ning has been working as a ferryman for more than 10 years. The only time he received a general level task was when he was 16 years old. At that time, he was asked to lead an evil spirit that had been promoted. He almost died on duty during that mission. Fortunately, the old man appeared in time to resolve the crisis. The undead in the underworld are also divided into 3, 6, and 9 levels. The lowest level is the ordinary undead. Because of the resentment in his life, it is very likely to evolve into 5 levels: resentful spirit, fierce spirit, evil spirit, fierce spirit, and ghost king. And this time, the task prompt shows a late-stage fierce spirit undead. The resentment is very huge and has been lingering in this area for a long time. If Cao Ning hadn't been promoted suddenly, the system would not have sensed her existence at all. B District 3 building. Cao Ning had just enrolled and didn't know where the B District teaching building was. But there was a greedy person who definitely knew. Fatty, do you know B District 3 building? Cao Ning patted Zhao Hai on the shoulder and asked. Damn, Lao Cao, can you stop calling me Fatty all the time? I'm muscle, okay. Zhao Hai tried his best to show his biceps, but still couldn't hide the fat flowing across his abdomen. Okay, muscle, then do you know where B District is? Cao Ning nodded in agreement. Of course I know B District is there. I studied Jiang University thoroughly for Shir Shahan. But if you want to go to that place, I advise you not to go. When Zhao Hai talked about that place, he was so nervous that even crow's feet appeared. Why? Cao Ning asked puzzledly. Because that place is not clean. Zhao Hai whispered. I have found some gossip about Area B before. I heard that Area B used to be the main teaching area of the school, but then for some reason, a girl suddenly hanged herself in the classroom. The most terrifying thing is that the girl was wearing a red dress when she died. Since her death, that teaching area has been haunted. It is said that someone has seen the girl there. The death was very scary. Everyone said that it was the senior sister in red who was wandering there. Several students died there a few years ago. At that time, the school even invited a magician to perform a ritual, but the magician committed suicide by jumping off the building that day. That is why the teaching area was abandoned. Are you talking about the large wasteland to the west of the school? Cao Ning noticed it when he entered the school. At that time, he was curious why the school left such a large piece of land unused. It turned out to be because of this incident. That's right. This matter has long been suppressed by the school. Not many people know about it now. But I advise you not to go there, lest you get into trouble. Zhao Hai persuaded. Hey, Fatty, stop talking, it gives me goosebumps. Liu Hao rubbed his arms, and a chill whizzed behind him. Look how scared you are, don't worry, I'm here, the red-clothed senior sister won't come looking for you. After saying that, Zhao Hai began to brag. Cao Ning seemed to be thinking about something. Now it seems that the Li Ling notified by the system should refer to this red-clothed senior sister. The first day's class meeting ended quickly, basically asking everyone to introduce themselves. Then the head teacher introduced the matters to be paid attention to during military training. On their way back to the dormitory, Cao Ning pretended to have a stomachache and quietly slipped out. It was also to avoid the other 3 people following and affecting his performance. Cao Ning followed the forest path behind the teaching building in Area A and quietly went west. Just at this moment, this scene was discovered by Shir Shahan, who had just come out of the library. Chapter 9: The Undead in Area B. What is this guy trying to do secretly? Could it be that he hooked up with someone so quickly? Shir Shahan whispered. Although Shir Shahan didn't have any feelings for Cao Ning. But now he is her legal husband with a marriage certificate. If he really has a new wife, she can be mentally prepared. Thinking of this, Shia Shahan decided to quietly follow him to take a look. Cao Ning walked through the grove and saw a wire mesh in front of him. It should be to prevent uninformed students from sneaking in. But this couldn't stop Cao Ning. He took out the soul-breaking knife directly from the system backpack. With a light stroke, the wire mesh was torn open. Not far away, the teaching building of Area B appeared in front of him. This is a teaching area composed of 3 connected teaching buildings. But now it is unclear which building is the third one. The telepathy of the ferryman must be at least within 50 meters to sense the exact location of the dead. Cao Ning walked along the weedy path. It seems that no one has been here for a long time. The weeds on the open space are taller than people in some places. At this time, Shia Shahan, who had been following behind, followed and lost Cao Ning. Looking at the road she just came from, it became more and more gloomy and terrifying under the dark moonlight. Shia Shahan was so anxious that she was about to cry. How could she, a girl, have been to such a terrifying place? But she was born strong and didn't want to disturb Cao Ning, lest he laugh at her. So she had to walk along the path, holding the anti-wolf spray tightly in her hand. She only hoped to see Cao Ning at a corner. The teaching buildings around were in disrepair for a long time, and even the windows were covered with a thick layer of dust. The long corridor was silent, without even a hint of light. You could only walk slowly in the moonlight. Cao Ning, why haven't you shown up yet? Shia Shahan nervously went up to the second floor. Looking through the corridor, there was no sign of Cao Ning. There was only endless fear and gloom. Shia Shahan was wandering alone in the corridor, and suddenly a gust of cold wind blew. A piece of glass suddenly fell from the window that had been in disrepair for a long time. It was smashed to pieces. Artilder. The sudden scene scared Shia Shahan so much that she screamed. The scream echoed in the corridor. Listening to the surroundings again, there was still no sound of footsteps, only the sound of wind blowing through the corridor. In such an environment, Shia Shahan's fear increased a little more. She regretted it. Shia Shahan was now blaming herself in her heart. Why did she follow? Find the mistress if you want. At worst, we can just get a divorce. She no longer cares why Cao Ning came to this place. Now she just wants to leave here quickly. Shia Shahan walked up the stairs, hoping to see the way she came. Just when she reached the third floor, a red shadow suddenly floated behind her. There was no sound at all. On the corridor on the third floor, there were some old-fashioned flashlights and some copper coin-like things. The classroom door on the corridor had been locked. But there was a big hole in the window, as if it had been knocked out by something. A corner of the guardrail on the opposite side was also missing. Shia Shahan walked forward slowly. Suddenly, there seemed to be something behind her making a sound. She turned her head suddenly. There was nothing. When she turned her head again, in front of her, I don't know when, there was a woman in a red gauze skirt with disheveled hair. The woman's feet were suspended in the air, her face was as white as snow, and there was a deep red mark on her neck. A pair of eyes were staring at her. It's the senior in red. R. Shia Shahan was so scared that she ran away in a hurry. She had heard about the senior in red, but she never believed it was true. Not to mention where the incident happened. Shia Shahan ran away in a hurry. Just when she hid behind a trash can on one side, a head slowly floated out from the guardrail next to her. Har har har. After 15 years, someone finally came again. Stay and keep me company. The voice of the senior in red echoed in the corridor. Shia Shahan screamed and continued to run away. Just when she ran to the 5th floor, there were several more ghosts in white in the corridor in front of her. Among them were men and women, and there were also Taoists in Taoist robes. They were all bloody and miserable, with bright red blood constantly flowing from the corners of their mouths. It was obvious that they should have fallen from a high altitude. Slowly, all the ghosts surrounded her. She was blocked in the middle of the corridor. Shia Shahan retreated step by step to the side of the guardrail. Seeing the undead approaching, Shia Shahan's nervous heart was about to jump out. Don't come over, don't come over. With a click. Perhaps because of the long-term disrepair, the guardrail broke. R. Shia Shahan didn't stand firmly for a moment and fell directly from the broken end. At this critical moment, a black shadow flashed by, caught Shia Shahan accurately, and hugged her tightly in his arms. Cao Ning. Xia Shahan was so scared that her face turned pale. But she still recognized the man in front of her at a glance. Silly girl, who asked you to come here? Cao Ning snorted. If he hadn't heard Xia Shahan's cry just now, he would have never known that she was here. I thought you. Xia Shahan's voice was as low as it could be. There was no coldness at all during the day. Who are you? How dare you trespass into my place? At this time, the senior sister in red also chased after her, followed by 7 or 8 vengeful spirits. Stand behind me, and we'll talk later if you have anything to say. Cao Ning changed his usual laughing face. At this moment, he was like a judge standing between heaven and earth. It made people feel awed. Xia Shahan didn't dare to disobey Cao Ning when she heard what he said, and immediately hid behind Cao Ning very obediently. Are you the senior sister in red? Cao Ning snorted coldly. Har har har. I didn't expect that after so many years, someone still remembered me. The senior sister in red sneered. Since you are already dead, why don't you report to the underworld, but instead make trouble here? Aren't you afraid of being thrown into the Avachi hell and never being reborn? Avachi hell? If I was afraid of being thrown into hell, I wouldn't have waited here for so many years. She is the senior sister in red. Chapter 10 Erasing Memory. Xia Shahan poked her head out and looked at Cao Ning. Compared to just now, after Cao Ning appeared beside her, Xia Shahan felt much more at ease. For some reason, she always felt an indescribable sense of security when she was with him. Cao Ning nodded and turned to look at the senior in red in front of him. We are all classmates, why do you insist on making things difficult for the students of this school? Before coming, Cao Ning tried to check the Book of Life and Death, but found very little. All he knew was that her real name was Lu Hongying, and she was hanged in the classroom 15 years ago. The death was extremely horrible. Nothing else was known. Classmates? They all deserve to die. When Lu Hongying heard the word classmates, she was obviously much more excited. After I was raped by Ju, they laughed at me and slandered me behind my back all the time. I hate them, I hate everyone in this school. I want them all to stay and be buried with me. I remember it. When Xia Shahan heard Lu Hongying say this, she suddenly remembered some things she had heard before. The senior sister in red was a junior student. I heard that she was locked in an office by a teacher and raped. After the incident, the teacher was arrested by the police and sentenced to several years. But not long after, the girl was forced to hang herself because of rumors. Since then, Jiangda has been haunted. Everyone said that the senior sister in red came back for revenge. In the middle of the night, students often jumped off the building where the senior sister in red was. I didn't expect these things to be true. Senior sister, the teacher who hurt you has been expelled from the school. He has also received the retribution he deserves. You shouldn't hurt your classmates again. Xia Shahan shouted with courage. Lu Hongying was unmoved. The man surnamed Ju was just locked up for a few more years. He can start a new life after he comes out, but what about me? Everyone is talking about me behind my back. Her? Lu Hongying pointed to a female ghost with a dull look behind her and said. She told all my friends that I was a dirty woman, and she also peeked into my notebook and made all my secrets public. Shouldn't she die? He? Lu Hongying pointed at another boy. He abused me in private. If I don't let him do it, he will let everyone know that I was raped. Shouldn't he die? He? She? And him? Lu Hongying pointed at all the evil spirits behind her. They all deserve to die. No, everyone in this school deserves to die. If there wasn't a hateful barrier suppressing me, I would have turned this place into a sea of blood and corpses. At this point, Lu Hongying burst out with a monstrous resentment. Boom! A red light flashed in an instant. Lu Hongying's face became hideous. Bleeding was all over her eyes, nose, mouth, and ears. Evil spirit. Cao Ning said in surprise. I didn't expect that just now when Lu Hongying was recording the causes and effects of the past, she unexpectedly gathered a strong resentment. Instantly, the evil spirit broke into an evil spirit. The strength increased several times. It seems that God wants you to stay with me today, so I can't blame you. Lu Hongying was suspended in the air, and her eyes were dyed red with blood. Do you really think you can deal with me? Cao Ning sneered. Originally, you still had a chance to reincarnate, but now that you have become an evil spirit, you can't do harm anymore. Really? Lu Hongying bared her fangs and waved her hand casually. The resentful spirits who were originally standing behind her attacked Cao Ning one after another. You dare to show off your skills in front of me? Cao Ning didn't know when he had a dragon-shaped fire gun in his hand. Just hearing bang bang bang. A few gunshots. Dragon flames roared out. All the resentful spirits were instantly shattered. Ghost official. Until now, Lu Hongying saw through Cao Ning's identity. Cao Ning raised his gun and aimed directly at Lu Hongying. Now I give you two choices, either surrender to me, or I will immediately shatter your soul. I'll give you 5 seconds to think about it. The sound of Sanskrit echoed, as vast as the sky. The majestic power of the underworld made her breathless. Lu Hongying's eyes were full of fear. Her first reaction was that she was being calculated. Ghost officials are different from ghost messengers. They have supreme spiritual power cultivation. Even a third-level ghost king dare not easily disobey the will of ghost officials. What's more, she is just an evil spirit who has just successfully passed the tribulation. There is only one way to die if she goes head-on. But she is unwilling to surrender like this. Kill me if you want. Don't even think about me submitting to you. 1. Just do it. I'm not afraid of you. 2. You, what do you want me to do for you? Lu Hongying began to panic. 3. You. Lu Hongying was so nervous that she couldn't speak. 4. Greetings, master. Lu Hongying knelt on one knee and bowed. Finally, she was intimidated and chose to submit. You should have done this earlier. Cao Ning smiled faintly. Putting away the dragon flame spear, he threw her a soul contract pill. The soul contract pill is a common method used by ferrymen to sign contracts with the undead, and it is also a way to control the undead. If the undead wants to betray the ferryman, the ferryman only needs a thought to make her die. Of course, taking the chilling pill is also good for the spirit master, which can help her wash away the resentment in her body to a great extent. No longer be controlled by resentment. Think it over, take the chilling pill, and you will have no way out. Lu Hongying was stunned for a moment, and finally chose to take the chilling pill. Just after Lu Hongying took the chilling pill, most of the resentment in her body dissipated in an instant. The originally hideous and bleeding face also restored her appearance before her death. A closer look shows that she looks no different from a normal person now. She even looks pretty, no wonder she was envied when she was alive. Greetings, master. Cao Ning nodded. He was quite satisfied with having such a subordinate at the level of evil spirits. Don't worry, as long as you lead 9,999 undead souls for me, I will cancel the contract on you and send you to reincarnate. Hearing this, Lu Hongying was obviously moved. Before, she didn't go to reincarnation, partly because there were restrictions on the barrier here. Another part of the reason was that she had too much resentment and couldn't cross the Nihar bridge at all. That's why she chose to sink completely. Now that she heard that she still had a chance, how could she not be ecstatic? Thank you, master. Hongying is willing to work like a cow and a horse for you. Cao Ning nodded with satisfaction. He then put her into the soul-grabbing bag. Wait for a chance later, and then arrange her to do the work of receiving. Looking at Xia Shahan behind him, she was already stunned. Cao Ning, who are you? Until Lu Hongying disappeared on the spot, Xia Shahan, who had been in a daze, finally came to her senses. Even a fool can see it. Cao Ning is definitely not an ordinary person. Cao Ning smiled and then put his hand on her head. Erase the memory. Chapter 11. Drag him out. Shahan, wake up. Lan, why am I here? Xia Shahan heard someone calling her in her sleep, and when she opened her eyes, she found that it was Shulan. Looking around. The lights were bright, the windows were clean. Neatly arranged bookshelves could be seen everywhere. Why am I in the library? Xia Shahan rubbed her head and tried to keep herself awake. I still have to ask you. Humph tilde, you left without saying a word, and didn't tell me. If Cao Ning hadn't sent you back, I would have been afraid that you would have lost yourself. Hey, tell me, did you secretly go on a date with Cao Ning? Shulan asked with a smile, hugging Xia Shahan's shoulders. Go, what nonsense are you talking about? Xia Shahan pushed Shulan and looked around. Where's Cao Ning? Where did he go? Oh, you miss him after not seeing him for such a short time. Something must have happened to you too. Shulan seemed to have discovered a big secret, and she couldn't close her mouth. Shia Shahan was holding her mouth and said unhappily, HMPH, Lan Lan, if you don't tell me, I won't talk to you anymore. Hee hee. Shulan covered her mouth and laughed secretly. Okay, I'll tell you, isn't that enough? Your Cao Ning called me and said you fell asleep and asked me to take you home. I said I was in the library, and he sent you here and went back. Hey, tell me, where did you two go? Did you go into the woods? Shulan was possessed by a curious baby. Gossiping, she really enjoyed it. Go to hell, I didn't. Shia Shahan was very embarrassed. Blushing. Shulan laughed so hard that she could hardly stand up straight. You still say no? When Cao Ning sent you back, there were clearly dead leaves on your body, I saw it. Tell me, did you two roll together? Hee hee. Tell me, Tilder. Shulan tickled Shia Shahan as she spoke. The noise she made attracted many people around her to roll their eyes. Don't make a fuss, let me think about it. Shia Shahan rubbed her head and thought again and again. Where did I go? Oh, my head hurts. Why can't I remember anything? Shahan, didn't you get drugged by that bad boy Cao Ning and did that? Shulan covered her mouth, her face full of shock. Shia Shahan blushed and rolled her eyes. What nonsense are you talking about? I'm on my period, you know that. Shia Shahan's voice became smaller and smaller, so small that she could hardly hear it. Okay, I won't ask, let's go back. Shulan stood up and put on her school bag, then turned around and looked at Shia Shahan and said with a smile. Shahan, you know what to say when you go back. We are going shopping, not to the library to memorize the teaching qualification, right? Shia Shahan pulled Shulan's arm and smiled awkwardly. Yes, we are going shopping, it doesn't prevent you from going involuntarily. Humph, who let Zhao Maynard always seduce me to get points, and secretly memorize the teaching qualification, I just want to involve her. Shulan pouted her lips. After saying that, she didn't forget to pull Shia Shahan with a smile, planning to buy some delicious food to reward herself later. Shia Shahan sighed and shook her head. A cool breeze blew outside the window. She turned her head to look at the abandoned teaching building in Area B outside the window, with a hint of fear in her eyes. Shahan, let's go. Okay, I'm coming. Shia Shahan replied, picked up her school bag and followed. Early the next morning, a piece of explosive news exploded on the entire Jiangning news media platform. Dear viewers in front of the TV, we are now in the teaching building in Area B of Jianghai University. As you can see, a cordon has been set up here, and provincial archaeological experts have rushed here overnight. According to an unknown netizen, there is an ancient tomb thousands of years ago 100 meters deep under the foundation of this teaching area. It is reported that the staff on the scene have found a stolen hole at the scene and found some porcelain fragments. Related archaeological work is being excavated. Jianghai University Boys' Dormitory. Big news. Zhao Hai ran back to the dormitory with his pants not fully pulled up. It's just that an ancient tomb was found in Area B. What's the big deal? The forum has already exploded. Sun Liang was tidying up his military training uniform in an orderly manner, and he didn't even bother to look at him. Fatty, you're out of date. Liu Hao also followed up with a sentence. What, you all know? Zhao Hai was like a deflated balloon. I wanted to show off, but I didn't expect to become a clown. Hey. Fatty, where are you going? We're about to gather. Sun Liang asked anxiously. There are still a few minutes, I can still pull. Zhao Hai ran out without looking back. Everyone was speechless for 3 seconds. After a while of silence, Sun Liang looked at Cao Ning, who was combing his short flat head. Old cow, whose grave do you think is buried 100 meters underground? How afraid are you of being robbed? I don't know. We have to wait for the experts to give the answer. But the one who can be buried so deep must be a big shot. Cao Ning stroked her hair, which was less than 1 centimeter long, and said lightly. In fact, he was the informant. Lu Hongying told Cao Ning. There is an ancient tomb 100 meters underground. There is a big formation in the tomb. That is why the souls who died here will be imprisoned here forever. And the old Taoist priest was actually a tomb robber. He dug a tomb robbery hole, but he didn't want to be devoured by the Yin Qi, which led to mental disorder. Finally, he jumped off the building and committed suicide in a state of confusion. According to Lu Hongyin's guidance, Cao Ning found the tomb robbery hole, took a few photos, and sent them to the mailbox of the Provincial Cultural Relics Protection Unit. Then there was a scene that happened the next morning. That's true. The school didn't find it when they were laying the foundation. How do you think those tomb robbers found it? These guys are really awesome. You don't know this, right? The tomb robbers nowadays are well equipped and have special detection instruments that can detect metals 100 meters underground. Liu Hao raised his glasses and said seriously. Really? How did you know? Sun Liang was surprised. Liu Hao raised his chin and said proudly, haven't you read the tomb robbing novels of the young master? It's all there. I told you a long time ago that you should read more books and expand your knowledge. Okay, you can do it, okay. Sun Liang rolled his eyes. Okay, it's almost time, we have to gather. You're late on the first day. You're waiting to be scolded by the instructor. Cao Ning stepped out to smooth things over. What about the fat guy? He's still pulling. Sun Liang said embarrassedly. Cao Ning spread his hands. What else can we do? Go and drag him out. Chapter 12 Seniors Wake Up. 7 o'clock in the morning. Cao Ning took a few roommates and bought a few buns at the convenience store downstairs and hurried to the basketball court to gather. There are not many people in the archaeology department, so they were arranged to gather at the basketball court with the freshmen of the music department. 7 or 8 neat squares were arranged on the basketball court. When the 4 people, each holding a meat bun in their mouths, arrived, the instructor had already arrived. The team was easy to find. The square with more girls was from the music department. It was all Han Army, which must be the square of the archaeology department. It's over, fatty, I told you to stop pulling, you see we are late on the first day, wait for the scolding. Sun Liang said in shock. I don't want to do this, my stomach is not doing well, what can I do? Zhao Hai pouted. Okay, let's stop talking, let's go over quickly, and let's do what we have to do. Cao Ning said helplessly. With such unreliable roommates, he had already prepared for a scolding. What's wrong with you 4? You're late on the first day. Push-ups ready. The speaker was an instructor in his 20s. He was 1.7 meters tall, with a big flat head and a body of tendons, and he looked very energetic. Instructor, we didn't mean to be late. My stomach was not working well. That's not an excuse for you to be late. 20 push-ups ready. Before Zhao Hai finished speaking, he was interrupted by the instructor. Instructor. Act decisively and execute orders immediately. Instructor, I'm done. While Zhao Hai was arguing with the instructor, Cao Ning had already done 20 push-ups in one breath. Wow, so handsome. The girls from the surrounding music academy noticed Cao Ning's performance in doing push-ups just now, and exclaimed. The instructor was also stunned. Don't look at Cao Ning's small body. I didn't expect him to be able to do push-ups very quickly. Some of the college students he had taught before couldn't even do 10, let alone 20 push-ups. Fuck you, Cao, you're too mean. You do it so fast, how can you let the brothers live? Zhao Hai muttered in a low voice. It's a piece of cake, it's a piece of cake. Let alone 20, even 200 is no problem. Cao Ning said proudly. Who told you to talk? The instructor was very sharp-eared, and he really heard what Cao Ning said just now. 200 push-ups are no problem, okay, then prepare for 300 push-ups. Instructor. Zhao Hai's face turned green. 300 push-ups, he would die immediately after finishing them. Say report before speaking, the instructor scolded. Report. Okay, instructor. Cao Ning didn't wait for Zhao Hai to plead for him, and agreed directly. He hadn't exercised for a long time, so he took the opportunity to stretch his muscles. No, Lao Cao, don't try to show off. Zhao Hai was anxious. He was the one who caused the trouble. If he made Cao Ning useless, he would be guilty. But the next scene made him dumbfounded. Cao Ning's push-ups were not only standard, but also fast. 101. 102. 103. 158. 200. Liu Hao counted, and the sound became louder and louder. The girls from the surrounding music colleges all attracted attention. Even the senior students who happened to pass by couldn't help but take out their mobile phones to record videos. 218. 219. 202. Wow tilde, wow tilde, wow tilde. The girls watching around all screamed. Even the instructors in the surrounding squares couldn't help but gather around. This kid is good, he did more than 201 breath. Not bad, he's a good candidate for the army. It's rare, I've been teaching college students for 4 or 5 years, but this is the first time I've seen a boy with such great physical fitness. While doing push-ups, Cao Ning's face was not red and he was not out of breath. This amount of training was just like a child's play for him. Just for fun. It is worth mentioning that after Cao Ning was promoted to a ghost official, not only his physical fitness was greatly improved, but also his appearance was constantly changing. When he looked in the mirror in the morning, his skin color was obviously whiter. If his appearance was only 70 points before, it was at least 85 points now. 298. 299. 300. After Liu Hao finished counting, the girls on the field went crazy. Wow tilde, that handsome guy is so awesome. If my ex-boyfriend was that awesome, I would definitely not break up with him. Nowadays, boys can't even do 300 push-ups, so they deserve not to find a girlfriend. Does anyone know that handsome guy? I really want to add him to my prestige. The instructor nodded with satisfaction, then waved his hand, join the team. Thank you, instructor. Cao Ning winked at Zhao Hai proudly. Zhao Hai understood. However, he was stopped by the instructor before he ran into the team. You three haven't finished your push-ups yet. The instructor pointed at Liu Hao and Sun Liang and said, you two, do 20 push-ups. You, do 30 push-ups. Puff tilde. Liu Hao and Sun Liang almost couldn't help laughing out loud. Why? Zhao Hai was dumbfounded. Why do they do 20, but I do 30? The instructor looked at her coldly, they are not as talkative as you. The last one who talked a lot did 300. If you have any objections, I can treat them equally. Girls' dormitory. Xia Shahan was wearing an ice silk suspender nightgown, sleeping beautifully in her little nest. A pair of slender and long white legs were crossed and pressed on the quilt, and the hollow snow scene in front of her chest was white and round. The exquisite face was as beautiful as the sleeping beauty in a fairy tale. The little brown bear in her arms was held tightly by her. After returning to the dormitory last night, Xia Shahan thought about it for a long time. The terrifying haze of the red-clothed senior sister in her mind was always lingering, and she couldn't sleep until very late. In addition, in the forum, she sent more than a dozen friend requests to Cao Ning, but he rejected them all. She was so angry that she almost ran to the boys' dormitory to beat him up. The other 3 people in the dormitory were the same. During the period before the start of the sophomore and junior years, they would sleep until noon before getting up. Seniors, get up. Get up 1 minute earlier, and be happy all day. Seniors, get up. Outside the dormitory came the sound of screaming. Thousands of freshmen yelling at the top of their lungs. The sound was loud and uniform, more effective than a loudspeaker. Oh, who is this? Who is yelling outside so early in the morning? Can't let people sleep. Zhao Maynor covered her head with a pillow, but it didn't help. Shahan, is someone confessing to you downstairs again? Shulan said in a daze. Xia Shahan raised her head, hum? Hum? Woo. He lowered his head and continued to sleep. Seniors, get up. Oh my god, it seems like the freshmen are shouting slogans. Zhao Maynor sat up suddenly. Wearing a cartoon nightgown and showing her long legs, she ran to the balcony. Come and see, it's really the freshmen shouting slogans. Chapter 13, Wei Wei's smile is very charming. Next to Xia Shahan's dormitory building is the basketball court. Standing on the balcony, you can see 7 or 8 neat square formations lined up there. In previous years, the military training students would at most sing to the seniors passing by. This year, they are doing something new. Come and see, there is a new hotspot in the forum. Big-eyed cute girl Liu Ting shouted excitedly with a tablet in her hand. The few people who were watching on the balcony gathered together again. Shahan, could it be that some handsome guy is doing something new again? Liu Lan said with a snicker. Go. Xia Shahan rolled her eyes and ignored him. On the flat screen, there was a picture of a man in military training uniform doing push-ups. There were many girls screaming wildly around. It is common to do push-ups during military training. But the most important thing is the number of push-ups that the boy did. Oh my god, 300. He actually did 300 push-ups in one breath. How strong must his place be? Cao Ning subconsciously opened her mouth, her lips moved, and her eyes were full of complicated expressions. Shahan, that person, isn't it? Liu Lan subconsciously looked at Xie Shahan. I don't know him, I don't know him. Xie Shahan smiled awkwardly. No, there must be something wrong here. Shahan, baby, do you know that handsome guy? Seeing Xie Shahan's embarrassment, Cao Ning suddenly became interested. She went forward and hugged Xie Shahan's slender waist, stretched out her hand to lift her chin. Shahan, my dear, are you having a little boy outside without telling me? Although Cao Ning is not as beautiful as Xie Shahan, she is also a real beauty. And there are many boys chasing her. The two of them are so charming together now, and it really has a bit of lesbian flavor. Go, what are you talking about? I don't know that big bear. Xie Shahan pushed Cao Ning away and said with a scolding. The reason why it is called a big bear is because Cao Ning's Chiabar account uses the avatar of Xiong. Huh, you still say you don't know him, you confessed it yourself. Cao Ning was as excited as if she had discovered a new continent. Tell me quickly, how far have you and him gone? Did you kiss? Did you go to their hotel? Is he good? After being told by Cao Ning, Xie Shahan's face flushed. Cao Ning is the most beautiful girl, she has seen everything. But Xie Shahan is different. She has never even held a boy's hand. Oh, what are you talking about? He and I are not familiar with each other at all. We are indeed not familiar with each other. We just met yesterday. We just got the marriage certificate. Really? Cao Ning had a playful look on her face. Since you are not familiar with him, then I will do it, I like little milk dogs the most. Gentle, considerate, and know how to take care of people. Considerate? Gentle? How do you know this? In a dream. Xie Shahan smiled but said nothing. If she had experienced the nightmare of last night, I wonder if she would still say so. On the other side, Cao Ning stood in military posture for 45 minutes. Just after the meeting, Sun Liang next to him could not stand it anymore. No, military training is too tiring. Do you have any ideas to help me avoid it? I'll treat you to a big meal later. Sun Liang is a mama's boy. He has never suffered since he was a child, let alone exercise. 45 minutes of military posture took half of his life. There is a way, but I don't know if you can do it. Cao Ning joked with a smile. Sun Liang immediately got excited when he heard it. Tell me quickly, as long as it can help me avoid military training, no matter how difficult it is, I will overcome it. Cao Ning smiled and pointed to the green belt next to him and said, Look, don't you see, there are so many ready-made templates under the shade of the trees over there, just copy them. Cao Ning, your uncle. Sun Liang rolled his eyes at him, and then complained, the body structure is different, can I have my period? You can try pretending first. Zhao Hai echoed. Fuck. Sun Liang was too lazy to pay attention to these two guys. All the ideas are bad. Oh my god, it would be great if a beautiful woman could suddenly give me a cup of milk tea. Har, you are dreaming. Zhao Hai teased. Fatty, do you know how to speak? If not, just shut up. What if I am too charming and it really happens? Oh my god, it really happens. Before Sun Liang finished speaking, he saw a girl with long hair, a long floral dress, and white canvas shoes walking towards him. She was holding a cup of milk tea in her hand. Several people looked over. Sure enough. The girl had bright eyes and white teeth, and looked sweet and lovely. Although she did not have the noble temperament of a goddess like Xie Shahan, she also had a kind of elegant beauty of a beautiful girl from a small family. Oh my god, isn't that Li Weiwei, the common school beauty? Didn't she drop out of school? Why is she back? In the team, some boys had inquired about the beauty resources of Jiangda in advance. As for Li Weiwei, who came from a poor family, he was naturally familiar with her. I heard that she dropped out of school because she had to take care of her paralyzed grandfather. Yes, I heard that too, but it seems that her grandfather died 2 days ago. Oh, no wonder. Hey, is the school beauty coming towards our team? Is she going to give me milk tea? Brother, don't dream, it's clearly for me. The appearance of Li Weiwei suddenly added some highlights to the already boring military training. Li Weiwei, who is 1.68 meters tall, not only has a slender and delicate figure, but also has a fair complexion. Not only boys love to see her, but even girls envy her. Is it her? Cao Ning recognized Li Weiwei. She is the girl with the yin-yarn eyes. And her family has some connection with Zhao Li. Look, the school beauty is coming towards us. Zhao Hai was so excited. The restless little hands kept smoothing the clothes, and the body stood straight. Liu Hao and Sun Liang did the same. Cao Ning. Hello, I am Li Weiwei, we meet again. Li Weiwei walked to Cao Ning shyly. A slight smile, better than the spring breeze. As soon as she opened her mouth, her sweet voice had already fascinated the boys around her. Cao Ning smiled, and 2 dimples appeared on her face. Hello, I didn't expect to meet you here. Have you arranged your family affairs? Yeah. Li Weiwei nodded. I didn't have time to say thank you last time, please accept this cup of milk tea. Li Weiwei held the milk tea in both hands and handed it to Cao Ning. The faint smile on her face was so sincere and sweet. Wow tilde. At this moment, all the boys and girls watching around screamed. The breeze blew across Li Weiwei's skirt and hair, creating a charming atmosphere that caused ripples on the quiet basketball court again. Thank you, but I hope you can keep it a secret from me. Cao Ning really couldn't bear to refuse. However, considering his identity, he still whispered a word. Li Weiwei nodded her pretty forehead. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone else. This is a secret between the two of us. Li Weiwei smiled even sweeter. Chapter 14 Xia Shahan is jealous. As time goes by. Jianghai University Bar. Previous second. The video of Cao Ning doing push-ups is still at the top of the forum. Next second. A photo of Li Weiwei, a common school beauty, giving milk tea to freshmen instantly swept the entire list. The number of comments and likes below instantly exploded. The most handsome man in northern Jiangsu, love it, our little Weiwei is finally back. I want to go back to school and register right away. Jiang Dae Genjin, wow, my wife has become more beautiful after not seeing her for a few days. The leader of the transportation industry at, brother above, your focus is wrong, shouldn't you say that you have been cheated again? Old Green next door at the leader of the transportation industry, he must have had a green grassland on his head. Jiang Dae Zhongjin at the leader of the transportation industry at the old green man next door, I am not happy with it. Shahan's top fan, does anyone think that guy looks familiar? Waiting online. Jiang Bei Genjin at Shahan's number 1 fan, what's with your eyes, brother? You didn't recognize him, is that Xia Shahan's rumored boyfriend? Who he loves playing jungle, oh my god. How come this bastard is everywhere? He robbed Xia Shahan, and now he has also taken Li Weiwei. Is he going to let us right-hand men live? Shahan's top fan, please do me a favor and I, Yinzu, will not accept it. Jiang Dae Zhongjin at Shahan's number 1 fan, what else can I do if I don't accept it? Didn't you see that this guy was the one who did 300 push-ups? Shahan's number 1 fan, sweating.jpg sweating JPG. Shahan, something terrible has happened. Girls' dormitory. Liu Lan ran back in a hurry and grabbed Xia Shahan's arm tightly. Xia Shahan was curled up in the hanging chair watching TV series and had no idea what was happening outside. Slow down, the sky won't fall. Look, Jun Xian is about to confess his love to the heroine. Wow, so romantic. Xia Shahan crossed her arms and kept her eyes on the tablet. Oh Shahan. Liu Lan reached out and covered the tablet. What are you talking about being romantic about? If you keep being romantic, someone will steal your big bear away from you. Xia Shahan was stunned for 2 seconds, then she picked up her tablet and continued watching TV series as if nothing had happened. I thought it was a big deal, not a big deal, not a big deal. Xia Shahan didn't care at all. First of all, Cao Ning has high standards and he looks down on ordinary people. Secondly, they have both already obtained their marriage certificate, so how can they be pried apart? Worst case scenario, divorce. Oh Shahan, do you know who the other person is? Liu Lan covered the tablet again. Li Weiwei. Is it her? Now Xia Shahan is no longer calm. Li Weiwei knows. She is also very beautiful and is the second most beautiful girl on campus at Jianghai University. She doesn't get much exposure, so few people know about her except the students of the school. When did she get involved with Cao Ning? Xia Shahan asked puzzledly. Liu Lan shook her head. I don't know either. But she was photographed when she went to the basketball court to bring milk tea to Cao Ning. The school bar is now full of photos of the two of them. Is that true? Xia Shahan closed the small window and opened the school bar homepage. Really? The photo of Cao Ning and Li Weiwei has been pinned, and everyone is commenting below. In just 1 hour, there are already 999 plus messages. Liu Lan casually flipped through a few messages. Shahan, look at what's written below. What? Wow, they are a good match, both Bijie and Na are more pleasing to the eye. Hey, I got goosebumps just hearing this. This, the best CP of the year. I hope the little brother and sister can give birth to a cute baby soon. And, there's this one. I was saying that little brother and Xia Shahan were not a good match, right? Finally, lovers finally get married. Xia Shahan's face suddenly turned gloomy. Although she couldn't say that she liked Cao Ning, after what happened last night, at least she no longer disliked him. After all, Cao Ning is her legal husband. I was cuckolded for no reason. How can I bear this? Humph, Cao Ning, just wait for me. Xia Shahan silently clenched her little fists and pouted, she looked so adorable. An hour later, Xia Shahan changed her clothes and put on some light makeup. This shocked everyone else in the dormitory. Shared a dormitory with Xia Shahan for a year. Except for performances, I have never seen Xia Shahan put on makeup and dress up so seriously. This stunning face, even if she were to participate in the Miss Asia. That's definitely the top 3. Xia Shahan walked to the dormitory door, turned around gracefully, and threw a coquettish glance. Sisters, let's see how I can get back my place. Liu Lan. Zhao Meina. Liu Ting. All 3 of them had a bad feeling. The enemy will arrive at the battlefield in 5 seconds. Please be prepared. At this moment, a very appropriate warning sound came from the game. It's a pity that Cao Ning couldn't hear it. Basketball court. Cao Ning was leisurely drinking the milk tea brought by Li Weiwei, which made the single guys around him very envious. Lao Cao, if you want to drink milk tea, then drink milk tea. It's wrong for you to laugh out loud. Zhao Hai glared at him with contempt. That's right. You're still slurping it. Are you afraid that others don't know you're drinking milk tea? Liu Hao echoed. Damn it, how come every beautiful woman is related to you? When will you let Fatty continue to carry on the Zhao family's legacy? Fuck, old son, you can say whatever you want, but why do you have to involve me in this? Zhao Hai said with a squinting look. Hiccup tilde. Cao Ning burped and let out a breath. It tastes good, but the quantity is a little small. Hey, why are you all looking at me? Aren't you thirsty? Is it that the school can no longer provide you with warmth, or are all the drinks in the canteen sold out? If you're thirsty, don't hold on. Or I'll treat you. Cao Ning said tentatively. The 3 of them looked at each other and stood up. That's good enough. You still have some conscience. Zhao Hai rolled his eyes. Let's go. I want to drink Red Bull. I want Jianlabao. I don't care. But I don't have any money. How about, who of you help me out first? As soon as Cao Ning finished speaking, he could clearly feel a strong murderous aura. The 3 of them looked at each other and nodded. Brothers, beat him up. Zhao Hai ran over with a wicked smile. He was able to grab Cao Ning's arm 1 second ago, and fell down the next second. Before he could figure out what was going on, Cao Ning sat him down. This is easy, Fatty asked you to practice a long time ago but you didn't listen. Now you're in trouble. You are too rude, Fatty, for launching a sneak attack. When Liu Hao and Sun Liang saw this, they quickly distanced themselves from him. That's right, Haozi is right. We are all in the same dormitory and should love each other. Brother Ning, don't you think so? You too. Faced with the sudden betrayal of his 2 allies, Zhao Hai was heartbroken. Brother Ning, I was wrong. It's okay if I don't drink Red Bull. Brother Ning, look, there's a beautiful woman. Zhao Hai exclaimed. Chapter 15 Shia Shahan claims sovereignty. Beauty. Cao Ning chuckled and said, Fatty, stop struggling. Even if Shia Shahan comes, it won't work. Brother Ning, it's Shia Shahan here, look quickly, Zhao Hai explained hurriedly. Par tilde. Cao Ning gently patted Zhao Hai's plump buttocks. You still want to lie to me? I think you are asking for a beating. No, Brother Ning, it's really Shia Shahan who's here. Liu Hao pointed at a place not far away, his eyes fixed on it. Cao Ning realized that this was not a joke, and stood up and looked to the side with some doubt. Shit, it's really her. Cao Ning exclaimed. Not only them, but the attention of all the people participating in the training was attracted. No one speaks. Just staring blankly. Not far away. Shia Shahan was wearing a light yellow chiffon dress and a pair of light brown high heels. Her fluffy hair was casually draped over her shoulders. She had only light makeup on, but it outlined her beautiful curves and figure. A stunning face with curved black eyebrows, a straight and beautiful nose, and tender lips. Their fair skin is as smooth as a baby's. Cao Ning couldn't take his eyes off her pure and sweet temperament. As Shia Shahan approached, the air was filled with a unique scent of gardenia. Very special. It doesn't smell like perfume. More like a natural feminine scent. I heard you were in military training, so I brought you milk tea. Shia Shahan slightly parted her red lips, maintaining an elegance and dignity from beginning to end. Hey, don't just stand there, take it. Shia Shahan handed over a cup of milk tea with a smile. The people watching around were all screaming like crazy. Cow thief, you are going too far. This is so fucking infuriating. Just now it was Li Weiwei, and now it's Shia Shahan. Do they want to let the dog live? Where is your coolness? Where is your coolness, school beauty? Oh my god, I'm heartbroken again. I don't even know what I'm doing in this school. This dog food is so filling that if one meal isn't enough, I'll have to eat more until I die. Wow, I'm so envious. I'm willing to trade my roommate's 10 years of singleness for a cup of milk tea from the school beauty. If that's not enough, a lifetime is fine. Although everyone present showed great envy, Cao Ning was a little nervous at the moment. Others may not know Shia Shahan, but Cao Ning has experienced it. On the day of getting the marriage certificate, she could cruelly throw her husband onto the street. She is definitely the first in the universe. On the wedding night, not only did he empty his meal card, but the only cup of milk tea he had was enough to nearly choke him to death. Such a tragic lesson lies before us. How could he not be more cautious? Could sugar be added to this cup? Cao Ning asked with lingering fear. Chuckle. Shia Shahan covered her mouth and laughed secretly. Don't worry, I specifically told the young lady not to add sugar to this cup of milk tea. You don't believe it? Shia Shahan saw through Cao Ning's thoughts and said, then I'll drink it for you to see. After saying that, Shia Shahan skillfully inserted the straw and took a small sip. Well, you can drink now. Shia Shahan smiled faintly and handed the milk tea to Cao Ning. Oh my god, the school beauty actually gave him the milk tea she had drunk. Artilder, I can't accept this. That's really too much. Didn't they kiss indirectly? My goddess, can't you be more reserved? The crowd exploded again. The wailing sounds continued. You've already drunk it, and there's your saliva on it. I won't drink it. Cao Ning thought about it and decided to just refuse directly. You really don't want to drink? Shia Shahan said without shame or annoyance. No. Cao Ning said firmly. Well, if you don't want to drink it, forget it. I never thought that a dignified ghost official would be afraid of the saliva of a little girl like me. If I tell others, I'm afraid people will laugh to death. Shia Shahan stood on tiptoe and whispered in Cao Ning's ear. Cao Ning felt as if he were electrocuted. Standing there stupidly. It took me a while to come back to my senses. You're not, I'm not already. Cao Ning looked at Shia Shahan in disbelief. I have clearly used some secret methods to erase Shia Shahan's memory, so why does she still remember what happened that night? Unfortunately, it seems that you failed to erase my memory. Shia Shahan suddenly felt a little proud. Well, do you want to drink now? Cao Ning rolled his eyes at her. Does he still have a choice now? You're so cruel. Cao Ning snorted coldly, opened his mouth and took a big sip through the straw. Hum. Phew tilde. So sour tilde. Cao Ning. Cao Ning couldn't help himself and sprayed Shir Shahan in the face. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't know this cup of milk tea was so sour. Cao Ning was busy wiping Shir Shahan. The onlookers were stunned. My first reaction was that Cao Ning was too unkind to women and actually dared to spray the school beauty in the face. Tilde. Shir Shahan was furious and didn't want to listen to his explanation. He stepped hard on Cao Ning's foot, causing Cao Ning to blush in pain. Asshole, big bad guy, I will never talk to you again. After saying that, Shir Shahan ran back to the dormitory angrily. I didn't mean it. Cao Ning here was also full of grievances. He also didn't know that the packaging that looked like milk tea actually contained lemon juice without water. But seeing Shir Shahan's expressionless face, it seemed that she was really determined to take revenge on herself. It's completely an act of hurting oneself by 1000 but killing the enemy by 800. Oh my god, Brother Ning, you are really good. You dare to criticize the campus beauty of Shir University. Aren't you afraid of being blocked in the dormitory at night? Zhao Hai looked at Shir Shahan running away, full of admiration. Fatty, you know nothing. This is why Brother Ning is favored by the school beauty, but you can't even get the prestige of the girl next door. This woman, you just can't be spoiled too much, sometimes you have to teach her a lesson, right, Brother Ning? While Liu Hao was belittling Zhao Hai, he also did not forget to flatter him. Anything to do? If nothing happens, go pee and play in the mud. Cao Ning gave them both a resentful look. Who did I offend? I was plotted against again for no reason. However, this incident also served as a wake-up call for Cao Ning. Shir Shahan's memory can't be erased. Obviously, there must be something wrong here. As for where the problem lies, it is probably related to the old man asking him to marry Shir Shahan. Forget it, I'll go back and ask the old man when I get off work. Cao Ning looked at the half-empty bottle of lemon juice in his hand, shook his head and smiled bitterly. He also figured it out. It must be that the matter of Li Weiwei sending him milk tea was exposed. She's asserting her sovereignty. At the same time, she was also expressing her dissatisfaction. Assemble, assemble. At this time, the instructor also blew their whistle for assembly. Cao Ning wrapped the lemon juice and put it aside. Just as he was about to go back for the gathering, the system refreshed the task. Bite. Emergency notice. A 1,000-year-old zombie was discovered at Jianghai University in Jiangning City's Ocean District. Because the district's ferryman Ning Xue was on vacation and had not returned, the underworld decided that the task would be transferred to Cao Ning, the ferryman from the Greater Bay Area. Announcement number 1,338,979 from the underworld. Chapter 16 Accepting a Friend Request. Millennial Zombies. When did this happen? How come I don't know about it? It seems like Ning Xue has been on vacation for more than half a month. She hasn't come back yet. That's not right. Since when did the ferryman take care of zombies? Can I refuse? A series of question marks emerged in Cao Ning's mind. Since the day he entered Jianghai University, there has not been a peaceful day. Now I have to deal with zombies myself. Cao Ning also saw it. There's a high probability that my horoscope is incompatible with Jianghai University. On the basketball court, Cao Ning stood straight in a military posture without moving. I'm actually looking for information about this zombie. Master System, which grandson gave me this order? Does he have any problem with me? The Black and White Impermanence Brothers? Or Zhang Kuei? Or maybe the 10 Kings of Hell? It can't be the Pluto, right? The first 3 are possible. They just like to argue with me. But Lord Yangjun wouldn't argue with a small person like me. Pluto? That's even more impossible. She has been in seclusion for such a long time, how could she come out for a ferryman? Cao Ning felt that someone must be deliberately trying to frame him behind the scenes. Otherwise, for such a big case, at least the ghost soldiers should be arranged to handle it. How could I possibly arrange for a small ferryman like me to handle it? Ding! System prompt. The system has no right to reveal the identity of the upper-level decision-makers in the underworld. Host, please complete the task as soon as possible. It is true. These guys must have done this on purpose. The more Cao Ning thought about it, the angrier he got. But now that the task has been assigned to me, it's obviously useless to worry about it anymore. Master System, please tell me about this zombie. Ding. Host, please pay attention. This is a mummy from 2000 years ago. It is very powerful and is currently in the ancient tomb underground in the teaching building of Area B of Jianghai University. Several archaeologists have been killed in succession. The underworld requires that this be dealt with as quickly as possible. The reward for this mission, 1 million Chinese currency. 1 million. Cao Ning almost thought he had heard it wrong. I have been a ferryman for more than 10 years, but the system has never given me any money from the world of the living. Every time it is a red gold coin that cannot be redeemed. This also led to his relatively poor life in the past 10 years. If he could get this 1 million Chinese yuan, it would bring about a radical change in his quality of life. That's more like it. You can't want the horse to run without giving it grass to eat. Amid Cao Ning's cursing and complaining, the first day of boring military training finally passed. After dinner, Cao Ning returned to the dormitory and opened the school bar out of boredom. I wanted to see what the headlines were today. I didn't expect that the hot spot was actually me. There were several eye-catching top headlines, and his name was almost on it. Surprise! A freshman challenged the military training instructor and won the show by doing 300 push-ups. Shock! A common school beauty came back from her tribulation and actually took the initiative to flirt with a junior. Is this a loss of humanity or a loss of morality? Headline. Shia Shahan's rumored boyfriend is trying to commit adultery, school beauty performs wet body temptation. When Cao Ning saw these speechless titles, he really admired these people. After all, they have already mastered the traffic password before graduation. No matter what the content is, write a scary title first. Cao Ning was too lazy to bother with these attention-seeking guys. After using the account of So Handsome That People Hack Them to criticize a few people who were obsessed with appearance, I felt much better. Just when he was about to close the school and go to the Canyon of Kings to show off his prowess, I saw more than a dozen friend requests in the new friends column. Oh my god, who is this obsessed with me? After all, I am a legend. When Cao Ning clicked it, his face suddenly stretched long. I want to be beautiful today too. I would like to add you as a friend. Please check it carefully. +1. +2. +3. +18. Ill. Cao Ning was originally going to ignore it. But thinking about how Shia Shahan was wary of him, it wouldn't be a big deal if she interacted more with her little fans. Maybe we can find a solution to the problem. You have accepted the other party's friend request. Now we can start chatting. Cao Ning clicked on Xiong Das profile picture and found that the other party was just like him, with a basically blank information page. There is no useful information at all. Cao Ning curled his lips speechlessly and quickly typed a line of words in the dialog box. Click send. Xiong'er avatar, handsome boy, is it appropriate for you to be so obsessed with me? Wouldn't it be nice to find a girlfriend when you have time? Xiong'er avatar, why don't you say anything? If you don't want to say anything, I'll delete it. After sending, Cao Ning threw his phone aside, turned around and slipped to Sun Liang's side. Brother, you are too bad. Someone stole your tower again. Can you still compete in the rankings? Can you blame me for this? Sun Liang had a bitter face and cried out that he was innocent. I have tried my best. The main reason is that my teammates are too bad. Even my jungler can let others steal the kills. After saying this, Zhao Hai next to him disagreed. I say, old son, you might as well call me by my name. You are really good at turning Jiao Chan into an assassin. You're still blaming me. If you didn't give them damage and kills, would I have lost so badly? I wasn't paying attention for the moment, okay. Zhao Hai hung his face and pretended to explain. TSK, just pretend. Cao Ning touched the mouse and suddenly became interested. Alright, you two should just take a good look at how I gain points. You just keep quarreling all day long, but you are nothing. Watch how I show off my skills. Online. Although Cao Ning has never played this game, but I often hear them quarreling over this. Overall, it doesn't sound that difficult. It can not only kill time, but also teach them how to behave. Why not? Ding ding ding. At this moment, the phone beeped. Cao Ning was just about to sit down, but now he had to go back and take a look. The message was sent by Bear Avatar. Content only one picture. Xiong Da Avatar, picture.jpg. What the hell is this? Shit, this is. After Cao Ning clicked it, his eyes widened. Brother Ning, we have already started, are you coming or not? Liu Hao urged. You go first, I'll wait for the next round. Cao Ning waved his hand without raising his head. Whose leg is this? At least 10 years of playing. Still black silk. Squeak, 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 it's really annoying. After Cao Ning enlarged it, he looked at it over and over again. Although I can't see the face clearly in the photo. But he is sure. This is definitely a beauty who is no less beautiful than Shir Shahan. Just as he was about to type a reply, the other party's message came. Xiong Da Avatar, brother, what do you think of the photo? Is it pleasing to the eye? Xiong Da Avatar, I asked a lot of people to get this photo from Shir Shahan's roommate. Xiong Da Avatar, you haven't seen photos of Shir Shahan wearing black stockings, right? Do you like this gift? Chapter 17 The Identity of Netizens. Girls' Dormitory. Shir Shahan blushed and took off the black silk stockings on her legs. This was an extra gift during the previous shopping mall event. I was planning to give it to someone. I didn't expect that I would use it to please Cao Ning now. I took advantage of my roommates not being around. Otherwise she wouldn't dare to try. Shahan, let's go get some hot water, shall we? What are you doing? Liu Lan had just returned to the dormitory after washing her hair and saw Shir Shahan taking off her stockings. Oh my god, it's still black silk. Liu Lan rubbed her eyes and almost thought she had seen it wrong. Our cool and aloof school beauty actually wears black stockings that all men like. Who is she trying to seduce by sacrificing her looks? Lan, quickly close the door, don't let anyone see it. Shir Shahan said with a red face. Now she wanted to find a crack in the ground to crawl into. This damn social death scene. It's so embarrassing. Shahan, tell me quickly, who did you meet just now? Was there any headline in the school bar? Liu Lan sat down next to Shir Shahan with a smile, and touched her twice with her uneasy little hands. Yeah, not bad, worthy of our school beauty's legs, so beautiful and comfortable. Shir Shahan rolled her eyes and said, why don't you try it on too? I can wear it, but no one will see me, hee. Tell me quickly, are you planning to wear it out for Cao Ning to see? I heard that Cao Ning sprayed you in the face during the day, you couldn't be, Liu Lan said in surprise. Ding ding ding. Just as Shir Shahan was about to explain, her cell phone rang. I picked up my phone and looked at it. It's Cao Ning who replied. Xiong Avatar, the photo is good, but the angle is not so good. Do you have any treasures in your collection? Otherwise, can you tell me where I am and I will find you? Hey, Shahan, who are you chatting with privately? Let me see, so handsome that he gets chopped to death, isn't this Cao Ning? Liu Lan opened her mouth in surprise. Lan, how did you know? Shir Shahan asked in surprise. Liu Lan rolled her eyes, do you need to guess? Ask other people, who doesn't know who this, so handsome that he was chopped, is? Who else but him could be so shameless as to brag in the school bar that Cao Ning is as beautiful as a flower? That's true, har, it seems like no one else is so narcissistic except him. Shir Shahan said with a smile. Shahan, you really did it for him. Could it be that you two are really friends? Liu Lan seemed to have heard something extraordinary. His ears pricked up with excitement. Shir Shahan curled her lips. Oh, Lan, I've said it many times, Cao Ning and I are really not friends. No, unless you swear, I will believe you if you dare to swear. Otherwise, you are not treating me as a good sister. Liu Lan pouted and refused to give in. Okay, I swear. Shir Shahan was forced to the point of not knowing whether to laugh or cry. She and Cao Ning are definitely not in a relationship. It's a legitimate, legal relationship between husband and wife. So, there is no such thing as deception. That's more like it. Liu Lan nodded contentedly. No, since you two are not together, why did you show him your black stockings? Now Shir Shahan didn't know how to explain it. I simply won't explain it. Okay, Lan, why are you so gossipy today? Go grab the water bottle and save a seat for me. I'll be right over. Liu Lan didn't get an answer, and she pouted, looking a little unhappy. Woo woo, okay, I'll go first. You have to come quickly, or I won't be able to carry it. Xia Shahan nodded. I know, you should go over there quickly. After saying that, he patted Liu Lan's butt. Shahan, you actually took advantage of me. I saved this photo for my boyfriend. Liu Lan covered her butt and looked at Xia Shahan resentfully. No, I want to try yours too, hee hee. After saying that, he smiled and stretched out his evil little hand. Xia Shahan quickly covered her collar with one hand and protected her hips with the other. Har, Lan, I was wrong, I won't dare to do it again. Hee hee. Not bad, the touch of the school beauty is indeed different. After Cao Ning sent the message, he asked a few more questions about her identity. But no matter how you look at it, he doesn't seem like the type who wants to make friends. At this moment, the boys' dormitory. Cao Ning seemed to be crazy, racking his brains to find a way to trick the other netizen into revealing his identity. My woman wears black stockings, and I am the only one who can see it. What a big loss. Don't let me know who you are, or I'll beat you into a pig's head. Xia Shahan is such a tigress. How could she let such a photo spread out? You are determined to make me wear a hat. Cao Ning waited for a long time, but the other party did not reply to the message. Now it's even more urgent. If I send this to others, it would be a huge loss. Brother Ning, what are you talking about? Why don't you come and play ranked games for me? Liu Hao sighed. Just now. He gave away 3 more heads. The tower is about to be stolen. Don't worry. You guys carry it for a while. I'll come over when I'm done. Cao Ning waved without even turning his head. Now he has no intention to improve his score. The color of the hat is the most important thing at the moment. System, is there any way to locate this netizen? Ding! Their host can pay for the service through the online mall, with precise network positioning, and each positioning costs 10 billion red gold coins. So expensive. Cao Ning opened the mall and found the missing person service in the Book of Life and Death column. It really is 10 billion red gold coins. Is there a cheaper price? Cao Ning asked tentatively. Since the last time he purchased the soul hunting equipment, his account balance was only 60 billion red gold coins. If it were to buy things from the world of the living, that would be enough. But if you want to buy equipment for the underworld, it's not enough. Ding! This service is not a regular service. The minimum consumption is 10 billion red gold coins. Cao Ning curled his lips. Sometimes the system is just so bad. Not even a chance to bargain. But think about it, Xia Shahan is my legal wife. It was reasonable to spend 10 billion red gold coins on her. Start network positioning. After Chen Pingan entered the school bar account, I want to be beautiful today, in the bulletin board. A dialog box will pop up immediately on the system interface. Byte. Name, I want to be beautiful today. Last post, 8 minutes ago. Network location, Dormitory Building C, Jianghai University. Building C? Isn't that the girls' dormitory? Cao Ning asked in surprise. Could that person be? Cao Ning was surprised and immediately called Xia Shahan. Hey, Xia Shahan, there are spies in your dormitory. Yes. She just brought a photo of you wearing stockings to please me, and begged me to be her boyfriend, but I rejected her sternly. Do you want to reward me with a set of black stockings? What? A swimsuit? That's not impossible, just one with lace will do. Beep tilde. Before Cao Ning could finish his words, Xia Shahan hung up the phone. Who are you? I haven't finished talking yet. Cao Ning complained depressedly. Then he quickly typed a line of words and sent it. Big sister, do you have any photos of Xia Shahan wearing a swimsuit? Urgent, waiting online. Knowing that the other person is a girl, there is naturally no need to be shy. If you make good use of it, there might be some surprises. Chapter 18, The General in the Tomb Passage. 1 a.m. Cao Ning stands on the roof of the 3 teaching buildings in Area B. The wasteland downstairs, which was originally overgrown with weeds, has now been replaced by dark green military tents. There are many more sentry posts around. Various large-scale exploration equipment has also been delivered. Inside the tent at the moment, A 60-year-old man with a white beard was carefully examining the broken fragments picked up from the tunnel. Inside the tent, there was a young man dressed as a scholar. Professor, Engineer Lee and his team have been gone for a whole day, and we still can't get in touch with them. Could something have happened? The young man lay on the camp bed, unable to fall asleep. His name is Chen Feng, a top student from Tsinghua University and Peking University. As soon as I graduated, I went to work at a cultural relic unit in northern Jiangsu province. The old man in front of him was Wan Guodong, a double-degree professor in the Department of Archaeology at Peking University and Tsinghua University. This time he happened to be conducting research at the Cultural Relics Bureau of northern Jiangsu province. I heard that a tomb dating back 2,000 years was discovered in Jiangning City, so I came here. Because he's older. Therefore, Deputy Director Li Changgong of the Cultural Relics Bureau refused to take him to the tomb during the day. He also escaped a disaster. Wan Guodong put down the magnifying glass in his hand and sighed. Old Li is still too impatient. They are in a hurry to go to the tomb without knowing the situation clearly. I think they must be in trouble. What should we do? Professor, should we immediately organize people to go to the tomb again? Chen Feng sat up excitedly. Wan Guodong shook his head. From the video sent back during the day, there should be some unknown creatures in it. If we go down now rashly, I'm afraid we'll end up like Lao Li and the others. I have contacted the army and they will send someone to assist. Now I just hope Lao Li and the others can hold on. Professor, could it be a zombie? Chen Feng whispered. Wan Guodong frowned slightly and wanted to scold Chen Feng, but he held back. Xiao Chen, we are all cultural relics workers and staunch atheists. Don't talk about ghosts and gods. I think it might be something derived from corpse turtles or something like that. Chen Feng lowered his head. I understand, Professor, I will never say such things again. Well, go to bed early. The troops will be here tomorrow morning, and we will need their help then. Yes, Professor. On the other side, Cao Ning has been observing the movements in the tent. After the lights in the tent went out, Cao Ning took out the soul-catching bag and released Lu Hongying from it. Oh no! Lu Hongying turned into a ball of red mist, floating in the air. Then, at a speed visible to the naked eye, it rapidly condensed into a human form. Compared to the previous lonely ghost appearance, Lu Hongying is obviously much more spiritual now. Not only has the resentment on his face dissipated, but his strength has also improved. Put on a red ancient costume and a red skirt, comb your hair into a high bun. She is just like a beautiful woman in ancient costume with antique charm. Cao Ning nodded. I called you out because I wanted to ask you if you know anything about the mummy down there. Mummy? Lu Hongying thought about it and shook her head again. Master, the ancient tomb underground is guarded by a large formation. I have tried several times to explore it, but I have never been able to get in. But I heard from the old Taoist priest that there is a burial pit below the robber's hole. The yin energy is extremely strong. An ordinary person who goes down there will be confused by the yin energy within 5 seconds. It is said that the mummy was dressed like a general, wearing armor and holding a bronze sword, and was guarding the entrance to the tomb. She heard all this from the old Taoist priest. Her strength is not enough to break through the formation. General? Interesting. Cao Ning muttered, then looked at Lu Hongying. Do you have the courage to go down with me? Aye. Lu Hongying looked embarrassed, but still nodded in agreement. She is now one with Cao Ning. If Cao Ning encounters misfortune, she will also be horrified. Hongying is willing to go with the master. Cao Ning smiled with satisfaction. Okay, hold my arm, so that you won't be blocked by the formation. Lu Hongying nodded, then hugged Cao Ning's arms tightly in her arms. Ahem, no need to be so exaggerated. It is comfortable, but also quite cold. Cao Ning said awkwardly. Is the master cold? Lu Hongying didn't react. On the contrary, I think Cao Ning is a bit cold. So the arm was buried deeper. Forget it, let's go. Cao Ning shook his head helplessly. He leaped forward and turned into a laser that shot into the tunnel. It only takes a few seconds. Cao Ning came to the burial pit that Lu Hongying had just mentioned. Unlike the messy mass graves on TV, this is more like a square in front of the palace gate. There is a dark bronze tripod in the open space in front of the hall. There are several modern human bodies in the tripod. Different degrees. Some bodies have turned into bones, and some have no corpse spots on them. It seems that they are the archaeologists who dug the pit during the day as mentioned by Wan Guodong. But now they have no vital signs. Cao Ning carefully felt his surroundings but did not sense the soul of the deceased. He thought it must have been forcibly dispersed for some reason. Who are you to dare to trespass into the imperial mausoleum of our great Jing kingdom? Cao Ning frowned slightly, alert to the surroundings. Master, it's him who's talking. Lu Hongying pointed at the coffin in front of the hall. It was a stone coffin. There are strange patterns carved on it. Ivory-shaped characters were carved into the coffin lid like runes. Boom! The coffin lid weighing thousands of pounds suddenly flipped up in the air. Soon after, a figure wearing exquisite armor sat up from inside the coffin. What happened in the past few years? Why are there always people coming down to disturb your highness? Hey Tilder, why does this person look so familiar? Alas, my eyesight has failed after 1,000 years. The mummy sighed inwardly. Okay, then stay. The mummy jumped up. The Blackian energy on his body instantly spread out. The tomb was soon filled with. His dry iron hands were bent into a bow. The bronze machete in the hand of the stone statue not far away flew directly into his hands. It was not until this time that Cao Ning could fully see the appearance of the mummy. It was a completely dried corpse, 2 meters tall and with a strong build. Under the dark red armor, the dried skin looks like 1,000-year-old elm bark. Ordinary blades can't hurt it at all. The violent yin energy cannot be dissipated for a long time. The face under the helmet has been covered by black yin energy. I was wondering who it was, but it turned out to be just a young boy and a ghost. How dare they break into the mausoleum of the Jingguo royal family with such little ability? In that case, then stay. The voice of the mummy is hoarse and deep. Plus the gloomy environment. It's so creepy to hear. How dare you mock my master? Lu Hongying was so angry that she was about to go up and teach him a lesson, but was stopped by Cao Ning. Cao Ning can see it. This mummy is extremely gloomy. The strength is definitely not inferior to the Ghost King level. Lu Hongying alone would never be his opponent. Chapter 19, the mausoleum gate opens and the army appears. Little kid, since you can bring a ghost down with you, it seems you have some abilities. I'll give you a chance. As long as you submit to me, I can consider not dispersing your soul. The mummy said gloomily. Really? But I just want to save you. Cao Ning raised the corner of his mouth, and he didn't know when a tang sword with a blue glow appeared in his hand. This is the soul-breaking sword that he exchanged from the system for 10 billion red gold coins. Different from Dragon Flame Spear. Dragon Flame Spear can only cause damage to souls. But at the moment, it was obvious that this mummy was just a consciousness attached to his body, and the Dragon Flame Spear had no effect on him at all. The Soul Sword is different. The Soul Sword is forged from black iron and has been soaked in the yellow spring for 100 years. Not only can it split the soul, but it can also cause fatal damage to the body. Obviously, it is the most suitable method to deal with mummies right now. Boy, who are you and why do you have this yin knife? The mummy asked in surprise. The ghost official of the underworld, Cao Ning. So he is from the underworld, no wonder he has this knife. The mummy suddenly realized and became much more cautious in his attitude towards Cao Ning. You and I have nothing to do with each other in the underworld, why are you looking for trouble with me? The mummy is not afraid of Cao Ning, but Cao Ning represents more than just him. He has their whole underworld behind him. If the underworld is invaded by ghosts, then the mausoleum that he has guarded for thousands of years will no longer exist. You are no longer a person in the mortal world. Your soul has entered the underworld. This is the law of reincarnation. How can you go against the will of heaven and change your fate? Moreover, you have already violated the laws of heaven by harming mortals. Cao Ning's face was gloomy, completely different from the playful look he had during the day. Now he is like a ghost from hell. Scary. Har har har, little kid, I saw that you were from the underworld, so I wanted to give you a way out, but I didn't expect you to be so ignorant. You can't blame me then. The mummy clenched the machete in his hand a little tighter. This tomb must be guarded by him. Before that person came back. Anyone who dares to threaten the mausoleum, no matter what the cost, they must be killed on the spot. It seems that you don't plan to disappear on your own. There is no need to say more. Let's do it. Cao Ning had a murderous look on his face. Although he was not sure he could defeat the mummy, he wanted to try. Okay, you are really brave. Try my sword now. The mummy jumped into the air, grabbed the handle of the knife with both hands, and chopped down in the air. Boom! In an instant, the blade split and pounced directly at Cao Ning like a ferocious wolf. Cao Ning raised his knife to block the mummy's full-strength attack. The mummy's strength is indeed extraordinary. This single blow forced Cao Ning to slip and retreat several meters. Ona! Don't come over here! Lu Hongying wanted to help, but was scolded by Cao Ning. Cao Ning's face was obviously a bit exhausted. It has become hideous. The little kid is quite strong. He can actually take my blow. The mummy sneered. Stop talking nonsense, I can still take it, Artilder. Cao Ning shouted loudly and used all his strength to push the mummy back. Boom! Cao Ning held the knife in one hand, with the tip of the knife standing directly on the ground, supporting his body. Just one knife was enough to make him look miserable. Master, are you okay? Lu Hongying immediately ran over and supported Cao Ning. Cao Ning was breathing heavily, his eyes fixed on the mummy. Looking at the mummy again, it was still the same as before. This move did not make him panic at all. You are nothing but this. I took the blow and attacked you. Come on, if you have the guts, come on. Humph, you are so arrogant. The mummy took 2 steps forward, raising dust with every step. With 2,000 years of cultivation, he is certainly not that easy to deal with. I originally planned to spare your life, but now it seems better to leave you here. As soon as he finished speaking, the mummy swung out 7 or 8 times in a row. Cao Ning was not to be outdone, he picked up a knife and fought fiercely with the mummy. The aroused blade left several deep cuts on the surrounding stone walls. After 10 moves, Cao Ning gradually lost. The situation is becoming more and more passive. Splitting the sky with fiery flames. The mummy swung a fatal blow. Blade cuts out flames. Cao Ning gritted his teeth and raised his knife to block. Boom! Lu Hongying was shocked by the energy and retreated several meters. Snap! After the 2 knives collided, the soul knife in Cao Ning's hand actually broke. But the knife in the mummy's hand showed no sign of stopping, and it chopped directly towards Cao Ning. Master! Lu Hongying shouted. Bang! At this critical moment, the bronze tripod in front of the hall suddenly exploded. A bronze sword engraved with a dragon pattern broke out of the tripod. He took the fatal blow for Cao Ning. This. Cao Ning's mouth was slightly open and his eyes were wide open. The mummy was blocked by the knife and was forced to retreat several steps. Pajuan, what do you mean? Why are you trying to stop me? The mummy stared at the bronze sword, shock in his voice. The bronze sword ignored the mummy and flew directly to Cao Ning. Cao Ning also stood there, motionless. He doesn't know what's going on. But this feeling seems familiar to him. The bronze sword did not attack. Instead, he circled around Cao Ning several times. Then a beam of light shot out from the sword. That is. Even the mummy was stunned. No one moved at this moment. It's like I've forgotten the action. The golden beam of light from the bronze sword illuminated the entire tomb, making it as bright as day. At this moment, the bronze door about 5 or 6 meters high behind the sarcophagus slowly opened. The door is open, the door is open, after 2,500 years, the door is finally open. Bang! The precious sword in the mummy's hand slipped. He turned around and stared into the hall in disbelief. Cao Ning was even more dumbfounded. The main hall looks like a sea of clouds in heaven. There are endless terracotta warriors everywhere. There are war horses, cavalry, bows and crossbows, chariots, sword and shield soldiers, and halberd soldiers. Hundreds of troops were lined up in neat rows. Looking from afar, it was an elite army standing ready for battle at any time on the ancient battlefield. Behind them is a towering palace, symbolizing the supreme authority of the imperial family. What is this place? Cao Ning can no longer describe it in words. This feeling is even more shocking than the visual experience of visiting the terracotta warriors and horses of Qin dynasty. Each of those soldiers is lifelike, just like a living person. Looking at the golden light on the bronze sword again, it had completely covered Cao Ning. Just when Cao Ning was extremely surprised, a figure suddenly walked out of the golden light. When the mummy saw that man, he suddenly knelt down. "My lord." The mummy bowed with great piety. When Cao Ning saw the appearance of the man in the golden light, he was so shocked that he couldn't close his mouth. Because that person was none other than himself, wearing ancient combat uniform and with long hair tied up. "Hupo, I haven't seen you for so many years." "How are you?" the man said with a smile. The mummy raised its head, the evil aura on its face dissipated, revealing a delicate man's face. "My lord, I finally waited for you to come back." Chapter 20: The Secret of the Bronze Sword. "Master?" The mummy actually calls this man master, so doesn't that mean he is the owner of this tomb? A series of question marks appeared in Cao Ning's mind. I don't know why. When he saw this man, he felt an inexplicable sense of familiarity. And why is this person so similar to me? Who is he? Meng Fang. Oh, no, I should call you Cao Ning now. The man turned and looked at Cao Ning. "Don't be nervous, I won't hurt you." When a man laughs. More like Cao Ning. Because they all have a small dimple on their face. This can't be faked. "Who are you and why are you trapped in the sword?" Cao Ning asked puzzledly. "Also, what exactly is this place? Why are there so many armored men buried here?" When Cao Ning received the mission from the underworld. Just saying there is a mummy here causing trouble. But no one mentioned that there are so many burial pits here that are comparable to the Qin Emperor's mausoleum. Where is this place? The man smiled and said, "Don't you already have the answer to this question in your mind? Why are you asking me?" Cao Ning frowned. "Can you guess what I'm thinking?" The man shook his head. "It's not a guess, it's a sense." "Oh, you're just playing tricks." Cao Ning didn't believe it at all. "Whether you believe it or not, this is the fact. Because I am you and you are me, we are one." The man said seriously. "Har har, do you think I will believe it?" Cao Ning snorted coldly. "If you are me, then who am I? If you want to deceive me, at least you should make up a more plausible reason." Cao Ning has been in the underworld for so many years. "I have seen many undead. But I have never heard of anyone who can separate himself from his obsession." "Lie to you? Why would I lie to you?" The man smiled bitterly. "Do you think that with your current strength, I have no need to lie to you? Since you can guess that tiger soul is a trace of obsession living in the flesh, then why can't I be the obsession you left behind? It's ridiculous. Why would I want to leave my obsession behind? Am I supposed to be here to keep vigil for myself?" No matter what the man said, Cao Ning just didn't believe it. If according to his statement, then isn't this my tomb? Then 2,500 years later, he robbed his own tomb. It's just a panic. After Cao Ning finished speaking, the man nodded. "Yes, it is awake, but it is not awake for yourself." The man turned and looked at the palace behind the gate. There is some sadness in the eyes. 2,500 years ago. Your real name is Emperor. He is the Grand Marshal of the army of the great peaceful nation. Your Majesty's son-in-law. And those soldiers in the hall are all the Black Armor Army soldiers led by you personally. In the 6th year of the Dongwang era, the enemy invaded the territory of Jingwa, and you were ordered to lead the troops to fight. Not long after you left the capital, a rebellion broke out in the city, the royal family was deceived, and the entire city was occupied by the rebels. The rebels are afraid of the Black Armor Army's front. In order to force you to submit, they kidnapped Princess Lingyu and forced you to surrender. But on the night when the rebels kidnapped Princess Lingyu, she committed suicide by cutting her wrists. Just to not burden you. After you knew this, you reluctantly led 100,000 Black Armored Army soldiers to annihilate the enemy. Then he immediately led his troops back to Beijing, despite the recapture of the imperial city. But at this time, Princess Lingyu was already beyond help and could never wake up again. Later, you built this tomb on the fiefdom where you once lived. And all the more than 30,000 soldiers who died in this battle were resettled here. And I am your obsession that was sealed here at that time. Impossible, impossible. How can a mere mortal seal off his obsession? It's simply impossible. Cao Ning didn't believe it at all. The man smiled and said, "It is indeed impossible in the eyes of ordinary people, but all this is due to this magic weapon. Divine weapon." Cao Ning stared at the bronze sword again and again. Just now when the bronze sword broke out of the cauldron, he could tell that this sword was definitely not an ordinary one, It is no exaggeration to call it a divine weapon. The man looked at the bronze sword floating in the air and said calmly, "This sword is called Po Jun. It was forged by the great Emperor Dorn Yu, who drew the spiritual energy from heaven and earth and forged it over a period of 3 months. It was made from the fine iron from the 5 mountains and the precious metals from the 6 merits. After the sword was completed, it was sealed on the top of the 5 mountains and was obtained by you by chance. Later, this sword accompanied you in your battles and you made countless contributions. The sword body breeds the sword spirit. Now the souls of 30,000 undead of the Black Armor Army are sealed in the sword. They have already merged with the sword spirit. In this world, no one else can use this sword except you. If you don't believe it, you can try waving at it. See if the sword spirit will recognize you." Although Cao Ning had some doubts, he still extended his hand. The moment he reached out his hand, a magical scene happened. The hilt of the sword was actually handed to Cao Ning. It's like recognizing the Lord. The moment Cao Ning grasped the hilt of the sword, the spiritual power in his body surged instantly. A familiar feeling came over me in my heart. In fact, Cao Ning had already been recognized when the bronze sword broke out of the cauldron. Now it is actually handed over to him. And at the moment when the bronze sword was in Cao Ning's hand, tens of thousands of black-armored soldiers in their hall. They knelt on one knee and lowered their heads. It's like paying homage to their commander. This. Cao Ning was also stunned by the scene before him. What's going on? Cao Ning looked at the man in disbelief. Now you should believe it. Except for the commander of the Black Armor Army, no one in this world can win their recognition. The man said lightly. If there is, then this person can only be their commander, Meng Fang. Chapter 21. The Tomb Master who has been waiting for 1,000 years. Cao Ning was so surprised that he was speechless. It took a while for me to come to my senses. Thinking about their actions, Cao Ning suddenly felt more guilty. Why didn't they go? Cao Ning now believes what the man says. Because this kind of recognition can't be faked no matter what. Are you trying to ask why they didn't go on to reincarnate, but chose to continue waiting for you here? The man saw what Cao Ning was thinking. Cao Ning nodded. He didn't want to be the one in his previous life who forcibly banned these people. If so, he is a sinner. Don't worry, they are all soldiers who are willing to follow you. They believe that one day you will come back to lead them and restore the glory of the Black Armor Army. The man's eyes became sharp and the expression on his face became more and more solemn. What you see now is nothing more than their obsessions stored in their bodies. One day, when you are able to unlock the seal of Po Jun, 30,000 yin spirits will appear to follow you and restore your former glory. The Black Armor Army will once again be invincible. As he spoke, the man had already brought Cao Ning to the front of the hall. Come on, accept their worship, the man raised his hands excitedly. Cao Ning walked forward with a bronze sword in his hand, half believing and half doubting. Raise the bronze sword in your right hand. At this moment, the remains of 30,000 Black Armor Army, including the mummified tiger soul. They all disappeared into the dust at a speed visible to the naked eye. This, what's going on? Cao Ning said in shock. The man put his hands behind his back and said solemnly, they have already recognized you. The remaining obsession has disappeared. They are just waiting for the day when you can break the seal and let them reappear in the world. Then how can we unlock the seal? Cao Ning continued to ask. This requires you to explore and search. The man turned around and looked at Cao Ning and said with a smile, okay, I have to leave too. My mission is completed. The rest of the journey will depend on you. You are leaving too? Cao Ning asked in surprise. The man nodded. Yes, the meaning of my existence is to hand them over to you, and to let you see that person for the last time. The man looked towards the palace not far away, his face filled with endless sadness and bitterness. As soon as he finished speaking, the man's body began to become blurry. Go ahead, she's been waiting for you for a long time. After saying this, the man completely disappeared into nothingness. Master, what on earth is going on? It was not until this moment that Lu Hongyin came back to his senses from his trance. This feeling is like a dream. Cao Ning did not answer Lu Hongyin's words. Because he doesn't know how to explain it now. Come on, let's go in and take a look. Cao Ning walked into the towering palace holding a bronze sword in his hand. There are more than 30 steps in front of the palace, symbolizing the majesty of the royal family. As I stepped into the palace that looked like a palace in the clouds, the scene before my eyes always felt indescribably familiar. It's like I've been here before. There was only one jade coffin in the huge palace. The surrounding walls are engraved with various patterns, as if telling a sad and beautiful love story. Cao Ning looked around and I roughly understand the meaning of the above. These should be the stories between Meng Fang and Princess Ling Yu. Two people met in the downtown area. At that time, Ling Yu was disguised as a man and met Meng Fang by chance. The two people became acquainted because of this, and later both were admitted to Yasukuni Academy. In the academy, the two spent an unforgettable happy time. In the meantime, the two comforted and encouraged each other. Eventually, the two fell in love. But later Ling Yu's identity was exposed. Because of the difference in their identities, they were unable to be together. Meng Fang also wanted to be with Ling Yu. Join the army resolutely and establish meritorious service. On the day of leaving Beijing, Ling Yu saw him off for 10 miles, and the two hugged each other and cried. 3 years later, Meng Fang returned with great success. The two were supposed to be getting married. But the enemy invaded. Meng Fang had no choice but to put on his armor again and lead his troops to the battle. I didn't expect this farewell would be forever. After that, Meng Fang built a tomb for Ling Yu. Master, the story above is so touching. After reading it, Lu Hongying was also moved by the story of Meng Fang and Ling Yu. If she had tears, she would have covered her face and cried. Why can't two people who love each other be together? The old man is really good at playing tricks on people. Cao Ning shook his head. I don't know either. Maybe that's why I have to meet her again. Cao Ning sighed and walked to the jade coffin. This is a jade coffin that is emerald green all over. It's much smaller than any I've seen before. As soon as you approach, you can feel a strong spiritual power. There are many runes on the coffin that I can't understand. I think it was carved by Meng Fang specifically to protect Ling Yu. Master, do you want me to help you? Lu Hongying asked. After all, this is a female coffin. If Cao Ning is not convenient, she can do it for him. Cao Ning waved his hand and put the bronze sword aside. She has been waiting for me here for so many years. How can I ask someone else to do this for me? I'd better do it myself. After saying that, Cao Ning walked forward with a heavy heart. He placed his hands on the jade. At that moment, a purple light enveloped Cao Ning and the jade coffin. Just when Cao Ning was extremely confused, the purple light slowly disappeared. Also missing were the strange runes on the coffin. Before Cao Ning could react, the coffin opened by itself. This is. Cao Ning looked at the disappearing coffin lid in surprise. He was completely stunned. Originally I thought that this was enough to surprise him. But when he saw the man lying inside, he was completely stunned. Owner? Owner? Lu Hongying realized that something was wrong and immediately walked up and patted Cao Ning. Cao Ning still didn't respond. As she looked down at the person in the coffin, she also covered her mouth with her hands in surprise. A pair of eyes staring round. Xia Shuame? Why is she here? Chapter 22 Xia Shahan's Illusion. Lying in the white jade coffin was a woman who looked exactly like Xia Shahan. From an outsider's perspective, that was what Xia Shahan looked like when she was asleep. The two people are almost cut from the same mold. However, the woman in front of him was dressed much more exquisitely. A phoenix bridal robe, a bright red palace gown, elegant and luxurious makeup, a high bun, and an exquisite phoenix hairpin headdress. She was dressed just like a bride. Cao Ning was stunned by what he saw. He subconsciously took out his cell phone and dialed a number. The ferryman's mobile phones are specially developed by Lao Chiao. Not only can they be used in both the yin and yang worlds, but they are also not affected by signals or regions. After the phone rang a few times, a lazy woman's voice came from the other side. Judging from the sound, he should be sleeping. Hey Tilder, who is talking? After confirming that Xia Shahan was still in the dormitory, Cao Ning hung up the phone. Master, what's going on? Isn't she schoolmate Xia? Lu Hongying asked puzzledly. Cao Ning shook his head. Xia Shahan is still in the dormitory, but I think her appearance here is not accidental. There must be some connection between them. Cao Ning recalled that the old man suddenly asked him to marry Xia Shahan, and his attitude was extremely tough. He felt curious at the time. With the old man's unruly personality, he would never demand this of himself. Then he thought about how he couldn't erase Sher Shahan's memory. Obviously, there must be some unknown secret here. Cao Ning took a photo of the woman's makeup with his mobile phone. But in the next second, "Master, look, what happened?" Lu Hongyin screamed. Cao Ning put down his phone and looked at the woman in the coffin again. Just like the warrior before her, she turned into dust at a speed visible to the naked eye. It's as if it never existed. It should be because we have lifted the seal. Those runes should be the reason why the body does not decay. Now that the rune is gone, she will naturally disappear with it. Cao Ning's face was solemn. He now had countless questions in his mind waiting to be explained, and the key to everything lay with the old man. Let's go, let's leave here first. There is no need to continue exploring here. It seems that if I want to solve the mystery, I must go back first. Cao Ning felt secretly upset. After leaving the ancient tomb, Cao Ning did not leave in a hurry, but first went to the tent where the researchers were. The underground camera equipment can no longer be repaired, and now the video images sent back must be deleted and the memories of the relevant personnel must be erased. Otherwise, it will cause panic in society. After finishing all his work, Cao Ning took advantage of the night to return to Wangfujing Hutong. Cao Ning's home is deep in Wangfujing Hutong, in a small courtyard made up of several tiled houses. The yard is not big, but it is big enough for him and the old man to live in. The old man lives in the west room. Normally he would be sleeping at this time and basically never stay out at night. "Old man, I'm back." Cao Ning pushed the door open carelessly. But there was no one in the house. All furniture is neatly arranged. There is a blank note on the table. This is a common concealment method used by ferrymen to avoid being noticed by outsiders. There was only one sentence written on the note: "I'm going on a trip, little boy. I've run out of money to live on. If you need money, go work or ask your wife for it." Okay, that's it, I have to catch a plane. Cao Ning was speechless. The old man actually wanted to force me to live off his wife in this way, but unfortunately his plan failed. Cao Ning looked at the text message on his mobile phone showing the 1 million yuan that had just arrived in his account, and he immediately felt very happy. But the next second, he was dumbfounded. Bite. Your ICBC savings card with the last number 5231 successfully transferred 1 million renminbi at 4:57 on the 2nd. The current available balance is 208 renminbi and 22 cents. ICBC. I'll go. Cao Ning ran back to his room like crazy and rummaged through the drawers. But besides an empty wallet, there is only one bus card left. Old man, you are so cruel. Cao Ning held the wallet tightly in his hand and was shaking with anger. Before leaving, the old man actually took away all his bank cards. The most important thing is that the old man knows the password of every card. Cao Ning didn't care too much about having no money before, so he just said it. But who would have thought that the other party had set up an ambush in advance? I guess this is the day we've been waiting for. When I returned to school, it was already daybreak. There were already quite a few people on the road who had finished their morning jog and were munching on big, delicious meat buns. Cao Ning walked towards the dormitory with his head down. After a night of tossing and turning, he was already hungry. But now there are only 200 yuan left in my bank card. If I don't use it frugally, I'm afraid I'll have to beg soon. Cao Ning, why are you here? As soon as he reached the bottom of the girls' dormitory, Cao Ning was called by a sweet voice. Are you here to apologize to me? The person who spoke was none other than Sher Shahan, who was preparing to go to the student affairs office to help out early in the morning. When Sher Shahan saw Cao Ning, there was resentment on her face. Why are you calling me so late at night? You're not going to apologize to me, are you? Sher Shahan was still feeling upset about how Cao Ning had scolded her a few days ago. When she saw Cao Ning's miserable look, she subconsciously connected everything together. Sher Shahan. When Cao Ning saw Sher Shahan, he suddenly shuddered. This feeling is like the reaction after seeing a corpse. But he soon recovered. Yes, I thought about it for a long time last night and still felt guilty. I wanted to call you to apologize, but I didn't know what to say. Cao Ning lowered his head in disappointment. Sher Shahan was stunned. Is this still the Cao Ning she knows, the one who is kept away from ghosts and gods? Why does it feel like I was hollowed out by a female ghost? To express my apology, I will treat you to breakfast. You can eat anything you want, as long as you accept my apology. Cao Ning suddenly became so sincere that Shir Shahan found it hard to accept it for a while. It's all in the past, you don't have to worry too much about it. Shir Shahan thought about it, then continued with a smile, how about I treat you? I know there is a breakfast shop nearby that sells delicious steamed buns. This isn't good. After all, I'm a boy. How can I let a girl treat me? Cao Ning's face showed an extremely conflicted look. In fact, I was already very happy in my heart. Then otherwise. I'd better listen to you. Let's go quickly. If we go too late, we'll have to wait in line. Cao Ning was quick-witted and noticed that Shir Shahan was about to change her words, so he quickly interrupted her. Are we going to the East Gate? Yes, I like the breakfast there too. I'm so sorry to have to make you spend money again. Hey, your clothes look really nice today. Of course, you look even better, but it matches your. Cao Ning answered his own questions, not giving Shir Shahan any chance to speak. Shir Shahan was in a daze the whole time. For some reason, she suddenly felt that Cao Ning was quite nice sometimes. She has a sweet mouth and what she says is pleasant to the ear. The main thing is that he is honest and has no ulterior motives. Chapter 23 Shir Shahan invites you to dinner. Boss, give me 2 trays of 3 fresh soup dumplings, 2 bowls of wontons, 2 bowls of soy milk, 3 fried dough sticks, and 4 sesame cakes. As soon as she entered the breakfast shop, Shir Shahan was frightened by Cao Ning's demeanor as a disaster victim. But Cao Ning acted as if nothing had happened and found a seat near the door and sat down in a familiar manner. You ordered so much, can we finish it? Shir Shahan asked worriedly. It's okay. Give me whatever you can't finish. I'm still growing so my appetite is a bit big. Cao Ning grinned, completely different from his previous lost expression. Boss, please serve the soup dumplings first. Everyone is waiting for them. Cao Ning shouted with chopsticks in his hand. Keep your voice down, there are so many people watching us. Shir Shahan held her forehead, covering half of her face. Afraid of being recognized by others. Cao Ning looked at Shir Shahan in confusion, then looked at the students eating breakfast around him, and finally realized that the school beauty was shy. Look, isn't that our school's most beautiful girl, Shir Shahan? Who's that boy sitting opposite him? Could he be her boyfriend? No way, Shir University's campus beauty is always aloof and never accepts confessions from boys, is this impossible? I heard that Shir Shahan is close to the freshman. Could he be the one who was so handsome that he got chopped down in the school forum? I think he looks a bit like him. Look, it's really him. Isn't that the boy in the photo at the school bar? Oh my god, the school beauty has fallen just like that? My childhood is gone just like that. Because they were close, Shir Shahan could hear everything the boy said. At this moment, Shir Shahan blushed and lowered her head, not even daring to look. He is not as heartless as Cao Ning, who eats with his mouth full of oil. Boss, your soup dumplings taste great. What kind of base ingredients do you use? I'll promote them to you later. Hey, you stepped on my toes. Cao Ning took a bite of the soup dumpling and looked at Shir Shahan with a pout. Shir Shahan didn't explain to him, just kept her head down. She was wearing a white casual shirt today, paired with light-colored jeans, and had a high ponytail on her head. When she occasionally raised her head, the brown ponytail would sway along. There is a hint of purity and loveliness in the sweetness. Cao Ning really likes this feeling. The soup dumplings are delicious and the people around you are good-looking. Not to mention that it was just this much for breakfast. Even if he had another serving of this, he would be able to finish it. I don't know how long this breakfast took, but most of it went into Cao Ning's stomach. Boss, pay the bill. Cao Ning wiped his mouth and shouted casually. When the owner of the breakfast shop heard this, she immediately ran to Cao Ning. Handsome guy, the total is $48. Do you want cash or fubao? Seeing the proprietress coming towards him, Cao Ning's face suddenly fell. Boss, well, I'm married. Cao Ning said embarrassedly. Shir Shahan, who was drinking soy milk, almost choked when she heard this. Har, I'll do it, boss, ignore him, I'll pay the bill. Shir Shahan took out her cell phone from her bag and prepared to go to the counter to scan the code to check out. This scene made the proprietress dumbfounded. Are students nowadays so anxious? Getting married while still in school. Although the proprietress had many questions in her mind, she did not ask any more questions. Just give money. As for who gave it, she doesn't mind. Cao Ning was also bored sitting there. Seeing that Xia Shahan still had half a bowl of wontons left, he casually asked, "Do you want to eat more wontons?" Xia Shahan immediately turned around and glared at him resentfully. "I'm full. I don't want to eat any more." Cao Ning nodded and held it in front of him. "We can't waste food. I'll eat it for you." Xia Shahan was speechless and didn't bother to argue with him. Just as she went to pay the bill, a graceful figure suddenly appeared at the door. The girl was wearing a light blue dress, a pair of snow-white canvas shoes, bangs, long hair, and small eyes. When the girl saw Cao Ning, her eyes narrowed into slits due to smiling. "Cao Ning, I didn't expect you to be here too, what a coincidence." Li Weiwei walked to Cao Ning with a smile. "It's you, you're coming out for breakfast too. That's great, how about we eat together?" Cao Ning looked up and happened to meet Li Weiwei's eyes. The scorching gaze made Li Weiwei's heart beat wildly. "Thank you, I have just eaten. I just happened to pass by and saw you here, so I came to say hello to you," Li Weiwei said with a smile. "Are you alone?" Hearing Li Weiwei's question, Cao Ning looked around again, but there was no trace of Xia Shahan. It seems that he was mad at himself and left. "Yes, I came here alone." Cao Ning continued the conversation. "If I said that I came here with Xia Shahan, I would have to explain for a long time." "Oh, that's it." Li Weiwei clasped her two little hands nervously together and her eyes moved left and right. Cao Ning, I want to ask you for help with something. Do you have time?" "Help?" Cao Ning smiled. He is kind-hearted and never refuses a beautiful woman's request. "Tell me what you want. I'll try my best to satisfy you as long as I can. But if you still want to see your grandfather, forget it. He's probably drinking milk by now." Cao Ning thought of the scene when he first met Li Weiwei, and subconsciously made the connection. No. Li Weiwei blushed and quickly explained. "Yes, it's like this. The female dormitory of our School of Humanities will be moved from Building B to Building C. I want to ask you for help. I have a lot of things." Building C. Cao Ning was in a bit of a dilemma. Although a day trip to the girls' dormitory is every boy's dream. But Xia Shahan's dormitory is in Building C. If she saw this, she wouldn't be able to explain it. Seeing that Cao Ning was in a difficult situation, Li Weiwei lowered her head subconsciously. "If it's inconvenient for you, forget it. I can do it alone." "No, you misunderstood me. I wanted to ask if your dormitory still needs help. The people in our dormitory are very helpful." Cao Ning really couldn't bear to reject Li Weiwei. I don't know how much courage she mustered to say this. Although it's a bit dangerous to go to Building C, it should be fine if you're careful. "Really? That's great." When Li Weiwei heard Cao Ning agreed to her request, she jumped up happily on the spot. "It would be really great if you could bring your roommates along to help. The 4 girls in our dormitory don't have boyfriends, and we were originally worried about how to carry so many things. If you are willing to help, that would be great." Li Weiwei looks even more charming when she smiles. Cao Ning has been a ferryman for so many years, but this is the first time he has brought joy to others. "No, I have to go back now and tell them the good news." After saying that, Li Weiwei ran out the door like a child. Cao Ning smiled but said nothing. He lowered his head and finished the wontons in the bowl. Just as he was about to go out, he was stopped by the proprietress. "Little handsome boy, you haven't settled the bill yet." "What, no? Didn't someone already pay before?" Cao Ning widened his eyes. The proprietress glanced at Cao Ning with disdain. That look was like a silent protest against the scumbag. "The girl said she didn't bring her phone, so she asked you to pay." "Without." Cao Ning swallowed the words back when they came to his lips. Chapter 24. What are these 3? Xia Shahan must have seen Li Weiwei coming, so she ran away out of jealousy. "Well, I haven't even gone to help, but I've already offended him. It seems that it will be difficult to coax her in the days ahead." Cao Ning curled his lips helplessly and took out his cell phone from his pocket. "How much?" The proprietress slapped the bill in front of him. 48. 48. So expensive. It's just a small amount, and you dare to sell it for 48. Cao Ning opened his mouth wide. The price is clearly marked. If you are dissatisfied, you can call 12315 to complain. Seeing that the boss was serious and almost impatient, Cao Ning did not care too much and his eyes became much softer. Hey, Madam Boss, can we discuss this and give you a discount? Jianghai University would arrange freshmen to stand at attention a few days before the military training. For some people, this was undoubtedly a disaster. After the painful first day of military training, Sun Liang somehow got a diagnosis certificate from the hospital, allowing him to participate in military training intermittently. This makes everyone envious. On the military training ground, 3 people from Dormitory 644 stood side by side. When they saw Sun Liang pretending to be stupid under the shade of a tree, they all rolled their eyes. Damn, where did this guy Sun Liang get the diagnosis from? Could this guy really be sick? Zhao Hai muttered in a low voice. In my opinion, he probably has hemorrhoids. Look at how restless he is. He might have had a circumcision. Liu Hao echoed. Cao Ning could probably guess something from Sun Liang's diagnosis. When he first came to school, Sun Liang inadvertently revealed that his uncle was the director of Jiangning People's Hospital. It only takes a few minutes to get a certificate. Do you too want him to come back and accompany you in military training? Cao Ning said indifferently. Of course I do. Brother Ning, do you have any ideas? Hearing Cao Ning say this, Zhao Hai was extremely excited. This guy was showing off all night when he got the diagnosis certificate yesterday. My teeth hurt from anger. Then you just wait and see. We are all good brothers living in the same dormitory. We agreed to share happiness and difficulties together. How can we let him stay out of it? Don't you agree, hee hee? As he spoke, Cao Ning showed a sly smile on his face. It's quite fun to play a prank on my little brother occasionally. That's great, Brother Ning. I won't say anything else. I've decided that you're the boss. Yes, 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 and me, and me. Zhao Hai and Liu Hao were eager to express their opinions. How could they be left out of such a good fight? Who is speaking? A few people were talking a little loudly, so the instructor, who was chatting with the class next door, walked straight up to the 3 of them. It's you 2 again, step out of line and get ready for push-ups. The instructor didn't care about anything and fired directly at Zhao Hai and Liu Hao. He now doesn't dare to single out Cao Ning as a key point. Doing too few push-ups is like scratching an itch for him, with no effect. If you do it too much, and the groups next to you are all girls, you can't help but become a fangirl for a while. At that time, not only will the training progress of one's own square be affected, but the other squares will also suffer. Instructor. Zhao Hai pouted and tried to beg for mercy. Follow orders. But the instructor's attitude was extremely firm. This is really hard for both of them. Obviously, all 3 of them have a share, but every time they are the ones who get unlucky. Who should I go to for justice? Soon, the morning's military training ended with occasional push-ups. As soon as the team of 4 was disbanded, they rushed to the cafeteria like crazy. On the first floor of the cafeteria, which can accommodate thousands of people for meals at the same time, there are colorful camouflage uniforms everywhere. This scene probably happens in every school when freshman year starts. Cao Ning squeezed into the crowd, ordered some rice and 2 servings of vegetables, and returned. Firstly, I was running out of food money, and secondly, I ate too much in the morning. I had originally planned to eat lunch together, but when the time came, I was really hungry. Brother Ning, why did you only eat so little today? You don't have a good appetite. Liu Hao was holding a portion of barbecue rice and his mouth was full of oil as he ate. Yeah, Brother Ning, usually you want to eat the cafeteria until it goes bankrupt. What's the matter now? You have no appetite now that the school beauty is not here. Zhao Hai echoed. Enjoy your meals. Why are you paying so much attention to me? Eat quickly. After you finish eating, I will take you to participate in voluntary labor. Cao Ning took a bite of rice and said lightly. When they heard that they had to take part in voluntary labor, the 3 of them suddenly felt as if all the energy was drained out of them, becoming weak and powerless. Brother Ning, you know that my health is not good. The hospital has told me to rest well. Do you think I don't have to go? Sun Liang looked at Cao Ning eagerly. Fuck, old son, just pretend to be my grandson, I don't even know you. I don't know who blocked the entrance of the girls' dormitory on the first day of school, picking on singles and carrying suitcases better than anyone else. Zhao Hai said indignantly. That's right, Hazy and I are the disadvantaged group, okay? Look at how many push-ups we did this morning, and you were the only one who had nothing to do and spent a long time chatting with the girls under the shade of the tree. If you don't go, who will go? Liu Hao echoed. I was setting an ambush for our dormitory. If you can get one of them, you can invite the other 3 people in their dormitory to come out, and then you can have some friendship and gain some prestige, then everything will be done, Sun Liang said hastily. Forget it, I'll introduce you to someone. Brother Ning and the school beauty's children are all good enough to play with. Rely on you. Haozi and I will both be single. Zhao Hai cast a contemptuous look. Okay, since you guys don't want to go, I'll go by myself. Anyway, this is my first time going to the girls' dormitory, and it would be troublesome if there are too many people. Cao Ning said calmly after taking a bite of rice. What, the girls' dormitory? When the 3 people heard this, they were furious. Brother Ning, I think I can do it. Let alone dozens of push-ups, even if you ask me to carry a bottle of mineral water to the 6th floor, I can do it without any problem. Zhao Hai stood up excitedly and patted his chest. Yes, Brother Ning, I think I can do it too. It's just push-ups. It's just a warm-up in advance. Liu Hao licked shamelessly. Both of you get out of here, what the hell, you just said you couldn't do it anymore, but now when you hear about the girls' dormitory, you act like you've been injected with hormones. Shame on you. After scolding the 2 of them, Sun Liang turned around and smiled, pulling Cao Ning's arm. Hey, Brother Ning, you see I've been idle for the whole morning, so let me go with you. The main reason is that I have more time to rest and I have a lot of energy. Cao Ning rolled his eyes at the 3 of them and was too lazy to argue with them. All right. I'll only give you 3 minutes to eat. Leave when the time is up. If you get hungry, that's your own business. After Cao Ning finished the last bite of rice, he took a sip of the seaweed egg drop soup provided free of charge in the cafeteria. Brother Ning, why are you still eating? The most important thing is to shine and make contributions. At this time, you should sacrifice yourself for others. Yes, Brother Ning, I agree with what Hazy said. When our revolutionary predecessors were serving the people, did they ever consider their personal gains and losses? We must inherit this spirit of not fearing hardship or fatigue. Sun Liang said righteously. That makes sense. I fully agree with it. Brother Ning, let's go quickly. Liu Hao said excitedly. Hearing the 3 of them expressing their opinions one after another, Cao Ning almost thought there was something wrong with his ears. What the hell have these 3 become? In order to go to the girls' dormitory, you even skipped meals. Chapter 25 Help Li Weiwei move to the dormitory. I agreed with Li Weiwei that I would go and move them to the dormitory at 12:30 noon. Because Zhao Hai and the other 2 were eager to make contributions. So when the 4 of them arrived downstairs at the girls' dormitory, they were half an hour earlier than originally planned. After Li Weiwei received a call from Cao Ning, she immediately ran downstairs to the dormitory to pick them up. The aunt downstairs in the girls' dormitory is very fierce. Except when school starts, boys are allowed to come in and help girls move things. At other times, if she saw a boy stepping into the restricted area even half a step, she would immediately run out with a feather duster to chase him away. Cao Ning, why are you here so soon? Li Weiwei was panting. She had jogged all the way here. Brother Ning, the voluntary labor you mentioned is moving the dormitory for the campus beauty Li. Zhao Hai asked in surprise. After Zhao Hai saw that the person coming was Li Weiwei, a common school beauty. I opened my mouth subconsciously. Although Li Weiwei had already sent milk tea to Cao Ning last time, according to Cao Ning's explanation, it was just a small favor to her. I didn't expect that the connection between the 2 of them would be so close. In fact, it was not just him, even Liu Hao and Sun Liang beside him were also shocked. Maybe they don't understand why both Xie Shihan and Li Weiwei fell in love with Cao Ning. Why, you don't want to? Cao Ning said with a smile. No, that's not what I meant. I mean, I'm happy to serve the school beauty, he. Zhao Hai hurried to explain, fearing that he would be chased back to the dormitory. Cao Ning rolled his eyes and ignored him. Instead, he smiled and looked at the well-behaved Li Weiwei. Li Weiwei is still as pure and lovely as ever. The first impression it gives people is always so simple. I had intended to keep the appointment on time, but you don't know that my roommates like to help others on weekdays. Look, when I heard someone needed help, I was dragged here without even eating. Cao Ning shrugged helplessly. He, thank you then. Li Weiwei covered her mouth and laughed secretly. How could she not understand the little thoughts in boys' minds? I'm afraid they are now asked to clean up. I'm afraid everyone will rush to go. It's okay, it's our honor to move things for the school beauty. By the way, please go and say hello to the dormitory manager, otherwise the four of us will be kicked out by her later. Cao Ning said with a smile. Yeah, I'll go right away. Cao Ning's words made Li Weiwei blush. If someone else praised her like this, she would just laugh it off. But if Cao Ning said so, she would still like to hear it. Really? After Li Weiwei said a few nice words to her aunt. The aunt at the dormitory management station simply stood up, glanced at the four people, and let them in. Li Weiwei's dormitory is on the third floor of Building B. The floor is not high, so it is convenient to move things. Because it was lunchtime, there were already quite a few girls in the dormitory. I saw a boy breaking into the girls' dormitory. Some girls screamed, covered their snow-white chests in panic, and slammed the door. I also called my roommates to stand at the door and watch them like they were looking at the scenery. Zhao Hai and the other two followed closely behind Cao Ning. The three of them were like Granny Liu entering the Grand View Garden, passing by every floor and every dormitory door. I would secretly take a look at it. This is probably the instinctive curiosity of boys. In fact, the structure of the girls' dormitory is the same as that of the boys' dormitory. It's just that the people living there are different. The clothes I wear are different sizes. Cao Ning and Li Weiwei were walking side by side in front. Next to Cao Ning, who is over 1.8 meters tall, stands the petite Li Weiwei. From a distance, they really look like the cutest height difference. I don't know why. When Li Weiwei and Cao Ning walked together, I felt very nervous, as if a little deer was running around in my heart. A pair of restless little hands tightly grasped the skirt, with head lowered. When I arrived at Li Weiwei's dormitory, the other three people in their dormitory were packing their things. Suddenly I saw Li Weiwei bringing so many boys in. Although I had greeted them in advance, I was still shocked. Wu Jing, Xu Qian, Xiao Yu, I brought them all here. Does any one of you need help getting anything? After entering the room, Li Weiwei greeted her roommate with a smile. Tang Xiaoyu turned around and saw Li Weiwei standing next to Cao Ning, looking restrained. I guessed his identity in the next second. Weiwei, this is your boyfriend, he's so handsome. Tang Xiaoyu walked forward and hugged Li Weiwei's arm, her eyes closely scanning Cao Ning. Li Weiwei blushed immediately after hearing what Tang Xiaoyu said. Hey, Xiaoyu, what are you talking about? Cao Ning and I are just ordinary friends, not boyfriend and girlfriend as you said. Yo, your face is blushing, your face is blushing. Tang Xiaoyu seemed to have caught something interesting and was laughing happily. This scene also made Cao Ning a little embarrassed. If Xie Shahan knew about this, I'm afraid someone might die. Well, is there anything we can help you with? Cao Ning said awkwardly. Yes, senior sister, we have plenty of strength, just make the arrangements. Zhao Hai behind him echoed. They didn't come to the girls' dormitory to eat dog food, but looking for opportunities to produce dog food. After laughing, Tang Xiaoyu looked at Li Weiwei, who lowered her head because of shyness and stopped teasing her. Okay, since your boyfriend is helping us move our stuff, I'll let you go. Tang Xiaoyu raised her head and said with a smile. Xiaoyu, you said, if you say that again I will ignore you. Li Weiwei's face became even redder. The red ones can be squeezed to produce water. Okay, I won't say anything, okay? Tang Xiaoyu felt very happy after laughing, and then she saw Zhao Hai behind Cao Ning. Can that junior help me move my things? Zhao Hai pointed at himself blankly. I? Yes, it's you? Tang Xiaoyu confirmed. She didn't dare to give orders to Cao Ning, but others could still do it. When Zhao Hai heard this, he immediately squeezed forward with a smile. Senior, if you need me to do anything, just tell me. As he spoke, he also showed off his muscles. Tang Xiaoyu's face instantly drooped, wondering if she had found the wrong person. Unlike Tang Xiaoyu, the remaining two girls, Wu Jing and Xu Qian, are both introverted and they are too embarrassed to speak. At this time, Cao Ning glanced at Liu Hao and Sun Liang behind him. They both understood immediately. Each person chose one and walked up to say hello. "Where are your things?" Seeing that his three roommates were busy, Cao Ning looked at Li Weiwei, who was still blushing. Li Weiwei is a rare beautiful girl. Even when she is shy, she still has a sweet campus style. Coupled with her light blue dress. Take a closer look. She really has some of the softness of a classical girl. Cao Ning reminded me. Li Weiwei immediately came to her senses and walked to her bed. Chapter 26. Xie Shahan blocked Li Weiwei's dormitory. "I only have these few winter beddings that I can't take with me. Can you help me carry them over?" Cao Ning walked to Li Weiwei. "I didn't see some small underwear as I imagined." On the table in front of him was a quilt packed in a woven bag, and next to it were daily necessities also packed. Compared to other roommates in the dormitory, Li Weiwei's stuff is relatively small. "It's okay, just leave these things to me." After saying that, Cao Ning walked forward and planned to move the woven bag out first. It's true that the woven bags used by girls are much more delicate than those used by boys. Not only are all things neatly arranged, but even the pillows scattered around are clean pink. Seeing this, Li Weiwei immediately went over to help. While Li Weiwei was helping him, her loose hair just happened to brush against Cao Ning's cheek. The silky and smooth feeling shocked him. Along with it, there is a faint fragrance. It tastes sweet, just like her smile. "Am I getting in your way?" Noticing that Cao Ning was staring at her, Li Weiwei immediately asked awkwardly. It's okay. I just thought of something and couldn't react right away." Cao Ning smiled faintly. "This feeling is like being pushed by the person next to you when you are sleeping in the middle of the night." I shouted at the same time, "You are pressing on my hair." "Okay, leave this to me, you lead the way." Cao Ning carried a woven bag in one hand without any effort. Li Weiwei smiled and nodded. The two charming dimples on her face are clearly visible. On the other hand, Xie Shahan has been in a bad mood since she came back from the student affairs office. It was not for anything else, it was simply because Li Weiwei went to see Cao Ning in the morning. "Shahan, what's wrong with you? Why are you so depressed after coming back from outside? Did someone bully you again? Tell me, and I'll help you teach him a lesson." Shulan put her hands on her hips, looking like a domineering female CEO. HMPH, who else could it be other than that big bear? Xie Shahan snorted with a pout. "Cao Ning? No way, Shahan, are you two really having an affair?" Although Shulan was very reluctant to believe that Xie Shahan actually liked Cao Ning. However, judging from the recent, there is no doubt that the relationship between the two of them is definitely unusual. Xie Shahan lay on the table with her cheeks puffed out. "I have nothing to do with him. There are so many people chasing after me. Why do I have to have anything to do with him?" Humph tilde. Although Xie Shahan is very strong-willed. But I'm still thinking about the scene of the two of them getting their marriage certificate. Invisibly, it has become a shackle in her heart. Even if we get divorced later. The words, ex-husband Cao Ning, are written on her personal files. Therefore, it is really difficult to really not care. Hey, I don't believe it. Shulan is not stupid. Although Xie Shahan refused to admit. But she could see. Since Cao Ning appeared, these two people are like tied together. There's always some noise. "Are you angry with Cao Ning because of Li Weiwei's matter?" Shulan asked tentatively. How did you know that?" Xie Shahan raised her head, looking confused. "It's true." Shulan walked to Xie Shahan and put her little hand on her shoulder. "My little princess, don't you know that you are the hottest headline in our school?" The photo of you and Cao Ning appearing at the breakfast shop this morning had already been posted on the school bar. The poster also attached photos of Li Weiwei and Cao Ning together. It's not difficult to find out the reason. Let me see. Xie Shahan frowned and immediately opened her phone to check. Really? The front page headline was a photo of him and Cao Ning eating breakfast face to face. Even the title of the post is very eye-catching. Shock. Two women share one man, the mystery of the fall of the Jiang University campus beauty. The message board below is even more speechless and heartbreaking. Oh my god, this guy is so strong. Two school beauties are having breakfast with me. Which family does this guy belong to? The Oldmar family or the Wang family? It's so infuriating. Those who are drought-stricken will die of drought, and those who are flood-stricken will die of flood. Are we, the older single dogs, going to be left alive? Campus belle, where's your coolness? Shia Shahan casually flipped through a few. Most of the boys expressed their shock and dissatisfaction. There were also many black fans attacking and complaining about Shia Shahan being indecent. Lan, why are they like this? We really have nothing. Shia Shahan held Shulan's hand and looked at her eagerly. Shulan sighed, Shahan, I am willing to believe you, but everyone has seen it, so it is difficult to explain. But are you really competing with Li Weiwei for a man? Shulan suddenly became interested. This is level 10 gossip. As the school beauty's best friend, how could I miss the first-hand inside information? Lan, what nonsense are you talking about? How could I possibly compete with someone else for a man? Shia Shahan gave Shulan a resentful look. Besides, what's so good about Cao Ning? Why should I compete with others for him? He was his own legal man. Why do you want to rob? Even if it was stolen, it was Li Weiwei who snatched it from her. Snort. Shia Shahan said in her heart. Shulan heaved a sigh of relief, that's good, but Cao Ning is such a jerk. He already has such a beautiful girl like our Shahan, why is he still having affairs with other girls? He is simply a scumbag. Lan, what are you talking about? He and I really have nothing to do with each other. Shia Shahan was depressed. Why doesn't anyone believe my explanation? Okay, it doesn't matter if it doesn't matter. But I heard that Li Weiwei's courtyard will be moving to our floor soon, do you want to go and take a look? Shulan said tentatively. From now on, Shia Shahan and Li Weiwei will always bump into each other. Rather than letting them bump into each other later, it would be better to explain it to her first. This will also help Shia Shahan to be mentally prepared. I have to go and see. I want to see what Li Weiwei is capable of. She actually dares to snatch a man from me. Oh, who wants to compete with her? Shia Shahan pouted and spat fiercely. Here, Cao Ning just helped Li Weiwei move the remaining things over. I heard a familiar conversation coming from outside. Lan, have you found out everything? Is their dormitory really next to ours? It can't be wrong. I just asked several classmates and they all said it was here. It's over, Shia Shahan is here. Cao Ning was very familiar with Shia Shahan's voice. The sound is nice and easy to remember. But now I hear. I always feel like I'm courting death. What's wrong with you? Do you need to rest for a while? Li Weiwei saw Cao Ning looking anxious and mistakenly thought that he was just tired. Before Cao Ning could explain, two beautiful figures appeared at the door. Sorry to bother you, we are from the student union. Cao Ning, why are you here? Shia Shahan and Cao Ning looked at each other. It's over, Bobby Q is gone. This is hard to explain. Chapter 27 Going to Dongshan Shooting Range. Ever since being captured alive by Shia Shahan in Li Weiwei's dormitory. In the following days, Cao Ning never saw Shia Shahan again. He didn't even answer the phone. Ding ding ding. Xiong Da, when you girls are jealous, do you like to hold it in? After Cao Ning sent the message, he looked up at the basketball court. The new students on the basketball court have gradually gathered. They are going to hike to the shooting range in the suburbs today. These days, without Shia Shahan's teasing, Cao Ning always felt like something was missing. However, Li Weiwei would appear at the basketball court on time these days and watch for a while. Every time Cao Ning left, she would hand him a bottle of water. Then he smiled and turned and left. Ding ding ding. The other party's message came back quickly. Cao Ning clicked on Xiong Da's profile picture. Xiong Da, jealous. Brother, you must be a scumbag, right? Scumbags are really annoying. When they die, they are fried in oil, and fried on both sides. For the girl who used the bear avatar. This is the one Cao Ning had fought with in the school bar before, I want to be beautiful today too. Cao Ning always suspected that she was someone in Shia Shahan's dormitory. But it was later rejected by Shia Shahan. The reason is that her roommates are all tomboys and no one would use such a coquettish online name. But since the system indicates that the other party is in building C, at least we can be sure that the other party is a girl. With this layer of mystery. So much so that sometimes when Cao Ning passed by the dormitory station, I would subconsciously imagine whether the dormitory manager was the other person. Cao Ning finished typing and clicked send. Xiong'er, sweating JPG. Xiong'er, Xiong Da, tell me the truth, have you ever been cheated by a scumbag? I heard that you girls feel bad when your period comes, is this true? Ding ding ding. The other party's message came back quickly. Don't talk nonsense. The boy who can cheat on me hasn't been born yet. And girls don't have bad moods sometimes. If they do, it's because they are mad at boys. Cao Ning scratched his head. After thinking for a while, he quickly typed a string of words. Click and send. Xiong Da, I feel like someone has a crush on me, and it's an unrequited love. On the other side, Xia Shahan put down the comb in her hand. When I saw Cao Ning's words, her little hands were clenched into fists. With a flat mouth and frowned brows, you can catch a mosquito. Pervert, narcissist, shameless, who has a crush on you? Xia Shahan was so angry. She originally wanted to use this mysterious feeling to annoy Cao Ning. But now he has abused me. Shahan, what's wrong with you? Hey, why did you get up so early today? Is there any activity at school? Shulan leaned on the window railing and looked sleepily at Xia Shahan, who was dressing up below. Xia Shahan wore a white shirt with a bow tie on her upper body today, and a pleated skirt with white mid-calf socks on her lower body. She also has a fresh and beautiful ponytail on her head. Plus her 9.9 appearance. You don't even need to dress up, it's enough to charm a lot of boys. Oh my god, Shahan, are you going to participate in a beauty pageant today? I've never seen you dressed like this before. Are you planning to go out and commit murder by showing off your long legs? Zhao Maynard heard the conversation between the two and also poked her head out from under the quilt. After seeing Xia Shahan's seductive JK outfit, she could already foresee the boys going crazy. Yeah, I also think Shahan is not normal today. Could it be that she has fallen for someone? Is there a boy like him in our school? No. Liu Ting also joined in the fun. A few people chatted with each other and soon all sleepiness disappeared. When Xia Shahan heard her roommates gossiping, she didn't keep them in suspense. Is it that exaggerated? Don't I usually dress like this? Xia Shahan looked down at her clothes and didn't notice anything different. In fact, today she not only wore JK, which was extremely rare, but also wore a bra binder. That high and straight chest is full of charm. It's like it could bounce up at the touch of a finger. Xia Shahan nodded with satisfaction and continued. But I do have something to do today. All the freshmen had to hike to the Dongshan shooting range today, and the school wanted to arrange volunteers to accompany them. I happen to have nothing to do, so I agreed to help. Why are you dressed like this to help? Are you sure you are going to help? Shulan asked in surprise. Xia Shahan looked down and said, why not? Isn't it beautiful? Sister, do you really not know what you are going to do? How can you help like this? Zhao Maynard echoed. Okay, I'm not going to be a labora. Of course I know what I'm doing. By the way, Mina, can you lend me your guitar? Xia Shahan said with a smile. Guitar? Shahan, are you sure you are going to help today? Shulan expressed her doubt. Near 7 o'clock. 2,000 freshmen from Jianghai University have gathered. All teams are divided into groups according to their departments. Today they will walk 15 kilometers to the Dongshan shooting range. Accompanying them were not only the counselors and instructors of each class, but also volunteers arranged by each department. This is also the annual practice of Jianghai University. It can not only exercise students' physical fitness, but also let them know that the current comfortable life is hard-won. Brother Ning, can I not go? I'm an injured patient. Before the team even set off, Sun Liang had already started to think about backing out. It's all because he boasted that he would share the good and bad times with his roommate in order to get into the school beauty's dormitory. Who knew that after just a few days, he had already started to back out? Brother Ning, don't listen to this guy's nonsense. Last time when I went to help the school beauty move to a dormitory, I saw him carry such a big suitcase up to the 5th floor by himself, without blushing or breathing hard. Zhao Hai said contentiously. Yes, I saw it too. He was talking and laughing with that senior student named Wu Jing along the way. Liu Hao added. I'll go talk to the instructor myself. Although Zhao Hai and Liu Hao had exposed his shortcomings, he still didn't want to suffer this. In his opinion, he was from the capital after all, so how could he suffer here? It's okay. If you don't want to go, then don't go. I'll let the two of them take care of sooner. Don't worry. Cao Ning grinned. No, brother Ning, can't I go? Sun Liang immediately became scared when he heard this. Zhao Hai and Liu Hao were both stunned. Sooner? Who is this girl, brother Ning? Zhao Hai asked in surprise. Yeah, I've never heard of it. Liu Hao agreed. Oh, you're talking about Suna, that's the girl that Lao Sun just chatted up with. Cao Ning smiled and continued, didn't you notice that every time he hid under the shade of the tree, there was always a beautiful girl next to him? I didn't pay much attention to it at first. It wasn't until the last time I moved to the dormitory that I saw him secretly running over to say hello to someone. I only found out after asking several people.